Hello, everyone, and welcome to this evening's episode of Tabletop Roleplay Theater, a gathering of some of the finest in nerdery, geekdom, theater gurus, and whatever the hell Connor is, get together to play a variety of tabletop role-playing games.
Don't
I'm
hate on our
Bethany,
punchy boy who doesn't punch anything.
Tanky Boy.
Robot
I'm
boy.
Bethany. I am the Dungeon Mistress for this lovely game of 5th edition. If you are just joining us for the first time, welcome. If you are a reoccurring subscriber or lover on Twitch or maybe on YouTube, if you're watching this in the future, it is nice to see you again. I actually don't think we have a whole lot in the way of announcements today. I think we're kind of ready to get an earlier. God, do you got anything for everybody? Nope. God says no. All right, guys, you heard it from the voice of God. Let's get into today's game. Welcome back. So, Missed Fortune, where we last left off. You flew your way in the direction of Marcera, making only one eventful stop along the way, to allow 23 to blow off some steam by dueling the Aarakocra samurai, Us. During that duel, he revealed a new trait available to the Shatterstar, a recollection ability, where it can be flown back to the hand of those who throw it. He was also handily defeated by 23 despite releasing his best attacks, but you know. You then carried on, making your way to Marcera, where you were greeted mid-air by Sky Marshal Landon Weltom. Your arrival, it seemed, was not unexpected. Bringing you into the city via the harbor, you were subsequently brought before the House of Nobles by a new train system to give a detailed report on the events of the Adanian Vale. While you revealed much, it seemed as though they were aware of a great number of things and only seemed to really wish to confirm their reports. More distractingly, many of you Marcera natives have noticed a few unexpected changes. Firstly, industry has come to the city. Factories billow smoke across the Dragonmere River while the new traverse system has connected the city. Despite that, a second fact comes to mind. That despite the unification of the city via the train system, it has never been more divided. Neatly corded off from each other, the wards are almost in a state of lockdown, and that made it difficult for you to travel to the various sections without displaying the proper paperwork. However, some of you did manage to visit old friends and even make new ones. However, on your way to Cerulean's home, you found the guard presence heavier than you expected. In addition to finding an older man, at whom at a glance appears to be Cedric Autumnhall, dangling from the front gate of the Autumnhall estate by a thin wire wrapped around his neck, his body mangled, torn, and cut in multiple places. So, what would you all like to do?
I would try to push my way past the guards.
Okay.
I want to
There is an immediate bear as a few of them. Oh, hold up! They seem to be blocking you. You can see past them as you get your way through them. There are two individuals who seem to be talking next to the body of Cedric. One of whom is a very regal-looking gentleman, nice cropped blonde hair, silver guard or white shield armor, white destrier. Looks to be a guard presence of some sort. Most people recognize him as one of the city marshals. Next to him is none other than
Boop.
Mario?
It says something,
Mario.
but before you even started that, I knew what you were going to do, Beth.
Is it Luigi?
I am becoming predictable. I apologize. It's actually Tyr.
He's sleeping.
Praise
I was
be.
like,
He's being a nice, quiet boy.
he's being such a good
Oh!
pupper.
They seem to be discussing something with each other, and the elven woman, awful scar across the center of her face, part of her ear, one of her elven ears looks like it's been torn off. Is in a state of distraught.
Not moving to progress, Renard is going to take a look around. Is there anyone watching these affairs? Like they're trying to just stay on the down low. Like they're trying very hard to not be noticed, keeping an eye on things.
Make a perception check.
Sorry, I'm checking the
24.
spells for the
What'd you say? 24.
Yes.
Holy cow.
Damn.
+5, guys. I'm not unperceptive.
Huh. He also rolled really well. Peering around at the crowd itself, you don't see anybody in particular that looks like they're trying to hide. But as you kind of look at the body, you notice that he's dangling from a wire connected to it, but there's almost this very faint translucent ectoplasm, like a goop that's kind of on the wires. Or on the bars of the front of the Autumn Hall estate.
Can I Arcana check that shit?
Sure.
Let's see if I roll as good. No, I did not roll as good.
23.
That's fine.
Yes.
Ugh,
Thank you, Connor. Appreciate you.
always appreciate him.
It's funny the way it's designed together. It almost looks like webbing of some sort, but not quite.
That's what my Arcana check tells me, that it looks like webbing.
It looks like a translucent glue-like webbing.
Oh, don't say glue.
Also,
Okay.
Beth. The aunt's name is Kellen.
Okay, did I not get that right?
Yeah, Genevieve's the mother.
Yeah, I know.
Whoops.
Oh,
This
it's
is-
marked
this is-
as aunt.
Ah, so this is the mom.
Thought so.
Yeah,
If-
this is the aunt.
Oh,
Yeah.
this
This,
is
the picture's the aunt. The name is different. It took me a second. I was like, wait a second.
Well,
So
no,
there's-
Genevieve's the mom. Yes, I know. Got it. Carry on.
If the
Okay.
guards won't let Cerulean pass, 23 will move the guards.
No, 23. That's not going to get us anywhere here. We just need to do this civilly.
Now Cerulean will shout over. He'll say, "Kellen and Kellen."
This is not Kellen. This is Genevieve. This is mom.
Okay, this is mom. Okay, I'll say. Then I'll sort of like try to push back. I'll say, "Mom."
You see her turn her head and squint her eyes, and wide as dinner plates for a moment, she'll point, and you can see the marshal will turn his head towards you and clear him out. And you can see the guards will separate and allow the six of you to march your way in there.
Roman is going to stay in the crowd for a second, just kind of pick through and try and chat up some people about who would do something like this, and kind of play up the ritziness if he can, saying like this is something that happens across the bridge, not over in Rich
Pump
Town.
up the pompous.
Yeah.
Make an
Oh.
investigation check.
All right.
Would I be able to stay there and aid him in this? Because I feel like being a part of that might not be Bernard's strong suit right now with their family.
Sure.
Just give him some money on his back.
All right.
I'll come with Cerulean.
So investigation. Hey, good for me not being.
I'm glad I helped you.
The general vibe you get from people is a lot of people seem to think it was the work of Nightfall, murdering mages and or elves in retaliation for another elf being murdered, last week.
Just elves murdering elves around here.
Well, I'm sorry. There was the elves murdering a different human a couple weeks ago. I'm sorry. Back and forth.
It's
I
just
would
racism all
prefer
around here. Oh.
that elves would kill a human and ask who they killed.
Who the elves killed?
Yeah.
Nobody of importance. Nobody that name
Okay.
you recognize.
Okay. But
Nondescript human, number 422.
I'll just kind of
Sure. Genevieve will immediately turn about and just give you a really big hug, Cerulean. But at the same time, she's, what are you doing here? Where have you been?
Oh.
He'll hug her back a bit tight, and he'll pull back and he'll say, it's a long story, and he'll end up looking back up towards Cedric again.
He is hanging there by his neck, lifeless and not moving. The marshal then trot his horse on over. Excuse me, dear. I'm going to ask you a few questions.
It'll take him a second as he's looking up, and he'll shake his head. He's like, "No, of course."
You are Cerulean Autumnhall, I gather.
Yes, sir.
You only just arrived in town,
Yes, just a few hours ago.
and you all can correlate that.
Yes, he's. I think you were shopping, weren't you? With what's the lady's name?
Elbeth. I was at Elbeth's shop.
We came in on the giant airship. I don't know if you saw that come in or not. But that was us.
I thought so, just making sure. Well, thank you. This is not the first time this kind of thing has happened. We've been investigating these murders for the past couple of months.
How long has he been?
They found him this morning.
And he's just been hanging here this entire time.
Yes.
Core is getting kind of annoyed by these people. Yeah, we thought we'd leave him up here as an example to.
I'm with Core. What the hell?
If it was here since this morning, why hasn't he been taken down? Why hasn't he been put somewhere and at least given some respect?
We're waiting for the conservatory to come back and make their report.
And not respectful to the body. To your grandfather, it's not respectful at all.
It's more respectful to catch the killer, wouldn't you think? An investigation done right.
Can Core major image a freaking cloth barrier around this man so people aren't gawking at his corpse, for freak's sakes?
And is he within like touching distance? I'm gonna ask Cerulean something first and be like, and I'll look to the guards who is like, would you mind if I at least I don't know, blessed the body, so I don't know, just seems respectful.
Not supposed to touch anything until the conservatory has their look.
Then
The
I won't
Alacom's
touch.
on their way.
In that case, I won't touch.
Good
Another
thing
question, Beth?
that my illusion doesn't touch anything and it keeps the body or the man out of prying eyes.
What you saying, like,
With the casting of that spell, is there anyone in particular in the group that responds negatively to it?
No.
Okay. Listen, we got people in town who are hating on mages. I want to see if we can catch his eyes out here. We gotta watch for this stuff, guys.
yeah,
Is
you're
this-
not wrong.
Is this guy human?
No, he's elvish.
The
Captain.
body or the captain? Oh, yeah, he's human.
Sorry.
Does he seem like he doesn't give a shit about the elves?
Wow.
Just from, or does he just seem like he's trying to do his job?
Make an insight check.
Good call.
use
on
that big brain.
Hey, I'm perceptive.
Insight.
Oh, I just jinxed myself. I just jinxed it.
Don't worry, not
No, I
good.
didn't.
No, you didn't.
Wow.
No, you didn't.
You get the impression that watching him, he's more like he's tired of seeing this. Like this is not his first time, and he wants this to be over with. And he actually kind of looks a little bit annoyed. It's a general annoyance, not towards all of you, but you can sense there is frustration with him, probably what's been going on.
Like, I'm sick of all this shit happening in my city. I wish it would just stop.
Or powerless to help it.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
So, assuming there's not really much going on, and we finished investigating the crowd, Renard will kind of start to approach as well, if the guards will allow him as part of the group that was there.
Yeah.
He will make his way up towards the strange substance that is covering over the gate and say, "Is this something that is typical of these attacks?"
It seems to be the MO so far. Gouged several times and then hung up standing in a tree, or in this case, a gate.
I mean, the ectoplasm.
The what?
That.
The web-like substance that's covering the gate.
He looks at you really confused, like he has no idea what you're talking about.
You're telling me then the other ones, the conservatories, never caught this?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't usually get privy into what the Alakam are. And as he is saying this, the crowd parts and reveals about 5 or about 6 robed, brown-robed mages walk forth, kind of cowls over each of their heads. And then he'll go, "I'll speak of the devil." The lead one kind of removes his cowl, and you see a very heavily bearded man, actually kind of similar to your beard, Will. Very scragged out, but hair that is extremely long, with a single monocle over his eye. And you can hear him go, "Thank you, Marshal. The Alakam will take care of it from here." In which the Marshal will go, "Yeah, I bet." And he will step back off of his horse and let the mages come forward and then look at all of you. "You are the group Misfortune, yes?" the lead one will say.
I see that our reputation precedes us.
"I pride myself in knowing who comes in and out of my city."
I would hope so, considering you're supposed to be able to gather information.
Well, the Alakam will take it from here.
Yes, about that. I see that there may have been some information that might have been missed, and he'll kind of look back towards the strange web-like substance that I'm still, as a player, not quite sure what I was supposed to know about it, and just kind of gesture towards it and say, "Is this typical of these attacks?"
Which he will extend a hand out and mutter an incantation that looks an awful lot like detect magic to you. And he seems to be peering at it for a moment. Yes. If you do the closer investigation, I think that what kills these people is actually not a dagger or a blade. Look at the indentations of the dagger, of the marks. It looks like he was actually bitten by something. A creature.
Bitten by a creature that lives some strange form of webbing that is nearly transparent behind.
Yes.
Oh no.
I see.
Well, any creature I know that fits that sort of bill certainly doesn't hang them up by their necks afterwards.
That is, I think, the other catch to it. I think it is a beast under control of a creature or person who is then using them as a display.
Wow.
And he'll look directly at Cerulean and Genevieve. "You have my condolences, my lady, my lord. I can assure you the Alakam is working as hard as possible to catch these killers, and they will be brought to swift justice."
Thank you. Just, are we going to be able to bury him properly, or is the body now the
It will be held
conservatories?
by the Alakam for interment for the meantime, but it will be returned to you within the week. I promise you that.
Okay.
To which he will signal, and the guards will then move over. And, "My lady," he looked directly at Cor. "Would you mind dispelling your image, please?"
You can walk through it without issue. I want to be respectful to the deceased, if I could.
Which he will then, the guards will actually hold up what looks to be a stretcher to hold the body over and cover.
Ah, very well then, and Core will dispel it.
They will take Cerulean's body down, and the wire is Cedric's body. I'm
God,
sorry.
this escalated quickly, guys.
How did you get out there?
I thought we were perceptive.
Take
Cerulean,
Cedric's body
stop
down.
dying.
They take Cedric's body down. The wire is exceptionally thin and made out of metal. You'd almost swear it's piano wire.
Ugh.
I assume they take.
But it is put down and covered. Thank you. And they will take the body away.
Cerulean is just sort of standing next to his mother, just like watching them take it away.
Edwin does not know. Edwin does not know yet, but I will let him know. He's probably still at work at the castle.
What about Aunt Kellen?
You can see she looks down and almost like she bites her lip for a moment. Aunt Kellen went missing 9 months ago.
Sorry? What?
You've been gone a long time. Though I do not know why you left, many things have happened in the city since your departure.
I left to help, to do good. I was bid.
And I wonder what would have happened if you had stayed. She kind of folds her arms. There is a look of irritation, upsetness, sorrow on her face, as if she's looking. Make an insight check, Cerulean.
Uh-oh. Cerulean made an oopsie. 11.
Does mother blame you?
Let's hope not.
I think with the 11, she looks kind of upset, but at the same time, she's venting, yelling at anything, anybody.
I honestly have no excuse. I thought I was helping at the very least. Myself and everyone here, and it will motion to everyone, we helped save a town from a group called the Red Hand. We helped them rebuild.
And you couldn't come home in that time? You couldn't help your father, help me?
I wanted to, but the people were... Everything was burning, and I wanted to help make sure that they had places to stay. It's no excuse.
If you say so.
But there is not a day that passed by where I didn't think about all of you.
I think it's best if you stay away from here for a while, Cerulean. Until I can at least talk to your father.
He'll sort of open his mouth to say something and close it and give a nod. Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Mm-hmm. And she'll turn and go back into the estate, closing the gate behind her.
Question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there any remaining wire from where that guy was cut, or from where Cedric was cut down?
I'll say no. It was cut and clipped.
Okay, never mind.
What about the web?
The ectoplasm is still there, yes.
I'm assuming I have a vial of some kind. I would like to gather some of that up.
Sure.
Tempest will just go over and hug Cerulean.
Core is reserving any creepy, or not creepy, cheeky remarks for the moment.
Oh yeah, this is so I don't make cheeky remarks.
He's just sort of standing there. He doesn't really do anything. Afterwards, he just says, "We should go."
Yes, let's head out.
Where are we going?
Oh
What
God!
time is it? Yeah, I was about to say, is it late in the day?
About 4 p.m.
Oh.
Yeah.
We still have time to
Wow.
annoy Lake's parents more.
You probably see Roman break off from a conversation where he was probably talking down about non-humans to somebody, and then just kind of trots over to the group, not really caring, as he hasn't really got much information other than that he got in the beginning. But well, that didn't help that much. I guess a human died recently, and I think it might be. I'll kind of look around, make sure there's no guards, and he'll kind of just gesture at Tempest. Some friends that are getting payback, but on that, tried to play up the race thing, see if I can maybe draw somebody out in the head a little bit, but nobody really knows.
My friends did not do this. At least when I was here, they never did this sort of thing. I need to go find a contact and figure out what's happening. Why is there an assassin with Nightfall's blessing or using their name? I need to learn this. Maybe I can find out what happened to Cedric.
Oh, we gotta do something about it.
Yeah, and I've just got like an arm around Cerulean, just kind of guiding him in case he's kind of just like downcast.
I mean, yeah, he's sort of just has his mouth. He's just like very stone faced, just sort of just walking ahead.
Yep, kind of figured.
Let's find somewhere to I don't know, rest for the rest of the day, perhaps.
I don't know if I know any good places in this area.
Black Flagon.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's the Black Flagon. It's the famous inn on the entrance to the ward.
Yeah. Beth, could we get on the map so we can actually see that?
Certainly. I'm sorry.
Thank you. No, it's fine. Now's about the first time we've needed it.
We are in the Highmark ward.
Something to drink and some raucous activity might be able to. Raucous is another term. Some loud conversation would likely take our minds off of it.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to the Black Flagon Inn?
I think so, yeah.
Very well. Let's put some music on for that, because I've been waiting for this one.
I like to think Core and I are sharing dark looks the entire way. Cerulean's just downcast.
Okay. The Black Flagon Inn, you can see out front, is a single sign that waves back and forth, and it is a literal black flagon with a cup of meat on the top of it. Very signatory. It's not, or at least when you were all there, it was a pretty good tavern, but it's almost like it's added an extra story to the top of it. The walls have been refurnished and nicely cleaned. The place looks absolutely spick and span. And out of the top, there's a little chimney puffing out smoke, and inside you can hear raucous laughter, music. People having a good time. Popping open the front door, I will move myself to this map since I think it's a relevant map, although you guys don't need it. On your left, you can see two humans, females, who look to be some sort of either clerk or greeter. Office behind them, leading into what you can only assume to be the manager's office. But one will stand up and smile and bow before you. Welcome to the Black Flagon Inn. Are we staying for the evening, or are we just having drinks?
Renard, are we staying for the evening?
I think we're staying here for the foreseeable future, but we will not be staying the night.
Very well. Drinks. Oh, well, then I would recommend to go on the room on the left. It'll link you to the main bar. If you wish to have a little higher class of the dining area, it'll be on the right.
Off to the left it is.
Okay. Pulling you into the door immediately to your left, you're greeted by a stage to your immediate right with a piano that is gently being played by another lovely-looking human. And another lady behind who's kind of drumming behind her. The room itself is not terribly crowded as all go, maybe about 8 to 12 people in here. The bartender, as I bring her up, is an absolutely wonderful looking blue-haired female. who seems to be working some very peculiar contraption. And as she pulls a lever, there's a and it seems like it's grinding something before this black liquid pours out with a bit of foam and then cream upon the top.
Oh, your oil has gone off.
You're making like frick. Oh, I like this card. Sorry.
To which she will then hand this hot beverage off to a lady who will smile and bow. Oh, thank you, Melody. Cheers, love. And then she'll look at all of you. Welcome to Black Flagon. I'm Melody. Something I can get for you.
What's in that?
Oh, it's coffee with cream.
Is that a new thing for most of us?
Coffee. What's coffee?
Okay, cool. Just curious.
Coffee can't be that new.
Pressed like this, yes, but mostly it's tea, but do coffee with cream.
I'll try one of those. That looks delicious.
All right, love. It's a silver apiece.
I'll take it, and one for my friend here.
Sure. And she'll take a mug up and hands you both a steaming hot cup of coffee.
I'll take off 2 silver.
Anything else for you? Something stronger, perhaps? I can also add a wonderful amaretto that goes with this.
Just ale for me.
Certainly. And she will go to a nearby keg. Hand it to you. 5 copper.
He will take out a. Actually, I'm just going to take a platinum out, set it on the table, and says, just drinks at the table and keep them coming when we want them.
Of course. She'll take that. Ping! She flicks it backwards, and for the briefest moment in your art, you see she kind of wiggles a hand, and you see a mage hand grab it and put it into a nearby pouch. She winks at you.
Fancy.
I'll try that.
Around me tonight,
amaretto.
guys.
What was that, Renard?
Drinks around me tonight, guys.
I'll have one of those amaretto, the coffee things.
I'll kind of be
of
like,
course.
here too. That it sounds like it goes well with this.
She gets a big grin on her face. I'd love to serve all of you. Can I have your names, please?
Tempest.
Oh, Misfortune.
That was quick.
I didn't know my name was associated.
Oh, we've heard about you. I'm not going to lie. I've been kind of expecting you all here at some point or another.
Oh. Lovely.
Don't worry about it. A friend of mine told me about you about a year and a half ago.
Who's your friend?
Redhead, you might have met her. Ruby.
Ah,
She moves so quickly, it's ridiculous.
She just gets around all over the place, doesn't she?
Magic. We like knowing the good patrons.
Yes, she and I were dear friends.
Reynard drinks heavily from his mug and goes to sit at the table. He's not going to ruin this moment.
Do I need to make a deception check?
Yes.
Thank you.
Cerulli will follow suit. He'll grab a mug and just walk off.
I will use my Silver Tongue ability maneuver and use a superiority die on this. Because why not? Well, I already said I'd do it, so
Roll that 10. Roll that 10.
I
Okay.
have a 7 total.
You can see he just kind of goes, uh-huh.
When I say friend, I mean associate.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, she hated my guts.
I know.
He means to say that he stole from her once.
You know, Renard, you held on to the blood for a while.
The what?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go back and make him drinks. And she will, you guys want food?
I think I'm fine, thank you.
I think booze is good for now.
Thank you for saying that, Core. I really appreciate it.
Is Core still lugging around the shield at the same time? And all that
Core is actually, once everyone starts tucking in and relaxing, she might start opening the packages, but it feels like a really bad idea right now with everyone so stressed out.
So are you not? I'm sorry.
I will be once we all kind of sit down and take it easy.
Okay. Just let me know.
Renard will waive food because he expects there's going to be dinner later at the house.
Yeah, no food. Just drinking.
Okay. All right.
So, that was a good... That sucked.
Yeah.
Cerulean's he's just taking very small sips from his mug. He's not going like full out.
Roman will try the coffee and amaretto, and after he kind of gets a feel for what it tastes like, he's probably just going to grab Cerulean's mug of not booze and swap it for his. You need this right now.
There you
It's
go.
not terribly strong. It's more of an accent to the flavor.
He'll take a bit of a swig of the new drink and
It's sweet.
He'll not.
Sweet drink.
he'll nod. Thank you.
Yes, you need something right now, don't you?
Yeah. He'll look at the coffee that he has now. He's just like, another amaretto with the coffee stuff.
Coming right up, dear.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna look at him and look at Renar and be like, "How much did you pay her?"
More than enough.
Just checking.
He paid basically for your entire stay and another week's worth of rent if you wanted to stay upstairs.
It's 5 silver a drink. I didn't pay for that much.
I was like, "Damn." It's actually only a silver drink.
Silver drink. Yeah, okay, I paid plenty.
5 copper, the other one.
Listen, I'm treating the party. Don't look at me like that.
We're just figuring out the money amount. We're just figuring out how much we got.
Yeah.
You've seen Roman before.
It's really, and I'm not terribly good at these sorts of things, but if there's anything I can do for you in this time, do let me know.
There's really nothing anyone can do. It's just a matter of waiting. I just didn't think me leaving for so long, all this would happen.
You can't blame yourself for that.
You
None
really
of us-
can't.
It's not
None of
your
us
fault.
could have seen that the city was going to jump ahead like it has in a year or two. Like this is
It's-
different than anything that we could have imagined.
I agree. I never saw this coming.
You've never been here.
You don't know that.
You've told us that.
Probably did.
Anyway, you're right, Renard. This city has progressed way too quickly.
I wouldn't even say it progressed, it regressed. This is so very strange.
You're telling me.
Well, but to that, Cerulean, I mean, we can't quite do anything about your mother and how she's coping with all this. As a group, we've been known for sticking our nose into things to get things done, so at the very least, we can try and give your family closure and hang up the bastard who did that to him.
Considering how tight they are on regulations right now, I would suggest we talk to authorities about maybe freelancing
Possibly.
before we're arrested.
I'm worried about going to the authorities, though. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they've done any use in the last few weeks.
If there's an assassin moving around the city that is using some form of creature capable of using webbing to assassinate targets, then
Some kind of spider? That's the only thing I can think of.
Also,
Yeah.
how is it getting around? Do you think someone would notice that? Is it using the trains, perhaps? Or, I don't know.
Beth, do I know of any underground ways of getting around the city?
There are sewers. There is an undercity that goes onto a good chunk of the city, but normal people don't go down there unless they have to.
Right, but it's something that's considered. So I'll kind of be like, there are some ways of getting around where you don't have to be noticed. The Undercity is quite effective at getting around.
We should have looked for tracks. Not that I'm a tracker, but that would've-
Unfortunately,
I looked around quite a bit. I didn't notice anything like that.
the problem was there were so many people there. The tracks would have been trampled over. They said he'd been hanging there for a day, which still, I can't believe that.
That's true. Cerulean, with your permission, can we go back and look at the area later on? I want to see if there's anywhere something could come out at.
I have no problem with it, but it's probably best I stay back while you all do that.
If only Kevin was here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He could see
we
literally
knew-
when he went up.
Yeah,
The
if,
past thing,
if
yes.
we knew when he died, then we could have seen who did it that easily.
It's unfortunate. And unfortunately, I don't know of any way to help. I don't have any spells that could assist us in this.
I don't really think there's anything we can do right now. This has been going on for so long, and no one's found out. Then
Tempest, you've been dabbling in divine magics, haven't you?
Yes, I have for quite a
And
while now.
You've come away with that. Is there any way that you could speak with the dead?
Over the table, Beth, would I know that that's a thing I could do eventually, but can't do yet?
If it hasn't been gifted to you by your gods yet, then no.
Okay, because I know I get it next level, but I don't.
I mean, you know, clerics get it, but you can assume that would be something you would eventually get, but
Yeah.
right now it's not available to you.
Okay, I'll just be like, I mean, when I talked with some of the clerics back in town, yes, some of them mentioned that that's a possibility, but I've not progressed that far.
Can we hire one, perhaps?
and we'll have to wait. It's also a matter of when we get the body back. The conservatory might keep it for a while, and I don't think they'll give us access to it.
And no offense, Julian, but I don't know if I trust them with the body.
The Alakim Arcanum, their entire job is to investigate magical offenses like this. If you can't trust them, then I don't really want to think about that.
Renaud,
Things
if these... Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh. If these investigators are as intelligent as you seem to believe they are, is it possible that they probably already interrogated the body?
It's not really
Well, That's hard to say. I'm not familiar with the standard modus operandi, so I can't say for certain, but depending on what magics they have access to, they may try it.
So, is there like a, obviously this is not something I ever dealt with in the past, is there like a heavy religious sect in the city? Is there like a strong worship of any gods here? Are there any clerics here that could help with that? I think this would be a Beth question. No.
Are you asking in character or out of character?
It
I'm
seems
actually
like you're
asking-
asking in character.
I'm sorry, I sometimes do that. I guess over the table, would I know if there's like, are there a lot of like temples here? Are there a lot of clerics that kind of do things normally? Is
There
this, like,
are a great many temples belonging to the Pantheon of Purity. The largest of them is actually the same bastion of the White Shield. It's a temple of Amael.
hey, I'll actually be welcome.
So, was there anywhere that Cedric would frequent outside of the house? Like an office, perhaps, that we could look into? Maybe he made a note. I have no idea. I'm literally grasping at straws.
It's possible. I was thinking even maybe we can see when he went missing. Beth, would I know exactly where he would frequent the most?
It's been a long time since you've been home.
Well, from what I remember,
When you knew him, kind of a homebody. He didn't get out much. He was old.
yeah.
So
I mean, he would probably also go to the conservatory at some points, right?
Conservatory, Silverguard Spire from time to time. But it's hard to tell where he could go in today's age.
But also, he was found at Altamore Manor. I can't imagine it would be easy to just, in addition to going around with what we're assuming is a giant spider, a body. And I don't know of any entrances into the Undercity from in that area.
Well, it is fairly close to the river, so if any of the sewers pour out into it, then with the spider, if a creature could climb walls, it wouldn't be. Can we actually get the Marcera map, Beth? Because we asked for that earlier and you never moved over that page.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Because his house is right here. Like
No,
he's
he's down here.
Yeah, he's here. Oh, yeah, never mind. Yeah,
No, it's down here because I'm looking at the high mark ward right now. So he's technically more near the dock ward.
I am wrong. Never mind.
Yeah, so it's this one with the lily pads down here.
I wish this house was that. That'd be cool.
So, just kind of looking at the map, I'm just gonna be like, I don't see any good ways of getting, like, we're not particularly near anything I can think of.
Well, I'm just thinking if there's a creature that uses webbing, it's not uncommon for these types of creatures to be able to climb very well. It wouldn't be difficult for them to come out from somewhere that dumps out into the ocean and then scale up over the walls. This is not particularly far.
True,
We're less
and
than 1,000 feet from there, even then.
true, and I mean, they said they found him in the morning. Maybe he was placed there overnight.
I have a hard time believing that any attack like this is going to happen during the day.
Of course, yes.
My one thing that's kind of nagging at me, and before I ask it, Cerulean, was your grandfather a mage?
He was, yeah. He specialized in enchantment.
So it fits the markings of this Nightfall assassin we hear about.
It does.
Yeah.
I think more so what's making me worried is that these mages, and he'll kind of gesture to Renard, that are investigating this. I mean, if they miss the goo on the fence and this has been happening, I mean, aren't these supposed to be powerful mages that can use stuff beyond even what you have?
Well, it's not that they missed the goo on the fence. It just there seems to be a disconnect between the Alakim and the standard martial force. They noticed it, but they didn't make that information readily available to the marshal.
Well, I hate to say this, but it might not be the fact that they can't do it. Maybe they're not doing it. Maybe they just don't care, or maybe they know and are hiding it.
That's my worry.
This is a force that is meant to detect corrupt mages and stop them. And mages are being murdered. Now, I could understand how you might be suspicious of that, but this is also the force that is made to ensure that this sort of thing doesn't happen by corrupt individuals that are capable of magic.
Well, but here's the thing. What if they're killing mages who don't agree with... I don't know what his political leanings were or anything like that. Maybe they're using this as a way of getting rid of people who don't agree with him.
What if they don't fit into their code of magic, or he was looking into things that they deemed, heretical or
Yes, but
forbidden?
Cedric was old.
Well-
he was, no offense, Cerulean, but I mean, I don't think he was going to bring a radical uprising of mages about at his age. I don't see motive in it.
Well,
Let's not forget as well that the Alakim are sponsored by the government. They are a sanctioned force. They're not just some organization that acts independently. They're a police force.
you can have corrupt police, Renard.
23 is
saying-
going good. Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Connor.
I'm just going to get up and walk out. This is beyond me. I'm going to go for a walk.
23's like, guys, you're thinking an awful lot.
Cerulean's like listening to this, and he's like just rubbing his head, just continuing to drink.
The insinuation of that would mean that the entire organization is corrupt if no one is making any of this aware or available.
I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just throwing out the possibility. I still think I need to find my contact, and I need to discover more about this assassin. If Nightfall's just being used as a cover, well, what's really going on?
Well,
Or is it really Nightfall?
Yeah, what was Cedric doing outside in the middle of the night?
Who said he was?
He might have been taken from in the house, which is even more frightening.
Yes, really. I meant to ask, does your home have any much in the way of protections or guards and wards?
We have guards at our estate, right?
Oh yeah, and there are
Yeah.
wards too.
He's an
Yeah.
enchantment wizard. Surely there was.
We have wards, we have guards, we've got everything to defend, and from the sounds of it, they just found him, just him.
So either he wasn't attacked inside the house, or they managed to slip by the guards and all of the enchantments.
Someone that knows magic quite well.
I just don't understand why him.
Did your grandfather have any particular... Did he do anything? Was he in any particular circles?
be completely honest, I never knew. He wasn't the biggest fan of me, though I tried to you know, make, make him proud at least.
Hmm.
He's family, so
There's a whole lot there I'm not touching. Well, Roman, you're trying to get across the bridge at some point, right?
Yeah.
I can maybe assist with that. Maybe we need more information.
if anyone that I can think of family-wise that would know where he would go it'd be my father, but he's at work and I don't intend or I don't expect to be welcome home with open arms for a little while. So
Parents shouldn't kick their kids out.
I understand why she did it. I'm not mad at her. She was a family member was found hung outside of a gate, and she didn't have anyone to vent to. She was just, and then I come back, and then she's probably has a mix of emotions with that, and I don't blame her. I'm not upset with her.
Well, I'm
just-
sorry.
I'm just sad. That's all.
So her first reaction upon... look, I'm not going to say anything. I'm sorry.
We just need to reach out to who we can and start doing some digging. Just keep... I think mainly what I wanted to say about the mages is don't rule anyone out just because you believe them to be virtuous. Just
Agreed.
anyone could have done this.
Just because I think Nightfall is incapable of this doesn't mean they didn't do it. Gonna tuck into my drink more.
I'm gonna go check on 23 to make sure he's not.
He went for a walk.
Can't have gone far, and I don't know. You know, there is a killer out there, and I think he could probably tear him to bits, but I mean, don't want to leave it up to chance. So I'll be back.
I'll just stay there, consoling Cerulean, getting him more drinks if he needs them.
Okay.
Reynard will check in with Tamari and make sure everything on the Dawn Runner is going well.
You get the mental image of Bertram being punched in the face by a purple tiefling.
Reynard is confused. Lake laughs at that.
I think I know this purple tiefling. I think I play her.
Cerulean finishes basically just one drink and then just stops. Like he realizes that drinking sorrows away is not an appropriate method of coping.
23. Well, you are out bopping around town like old Godzilla on a new playground. There is a construct that... excuse me, sir.
Can I help you?
You are different.
Yes, I am.
You emulate humans.
I try to a certain extent.
What purpose does it serve except to remind you that you are incomplete?
I don't feel like I'm incomplete, but, who are you exactly?
I am a servant construct of Rustoke family.
Ristoke?
Ristoke.
I don't hate them. I mean, you're a servant, so you were designed to serve. I was designed long ago for a very different purpose, but it was to protect them.
You
I feel
have a choice.
kind of. The choice is, I would want to say is there. I hope it's there. But it is less about that it was what I was made to do, it was what I was designed to do, but I've grown to love them, and I choose to protect them. No matter how horrible they can be at times, I have seen it. I think we've all seen it, but...
Why? When they kill readily, they kill each other.
My friends, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I didn't write that down.
Stomp.
Yeah, Connor.
Boom.
This unit has been active for 4 years.
Well, I have been active for much longer, for over 200. And in my time, well, active. I've been active for like 40.
Yeah, thereabouts.
I've been active for around 40 years, but in my time, I've seen that everyone, humans, even Warforged like myself, they all kill each other. Everyone kills each other. So long as greed is a thing within the world, men will kill each other.
It seems to pause at that. I do not know if this is a thing I should emulate.
Greed, I would not recommend emulating. It's poisonous, it tears families apart. It's what makes us all go mad in the end. I don't know if I'm greedy or not. I hope I'm not. But...
Hope.
Yes, hope.
I will consider hope.
What is your name, by the way?
Hyperion.
Stand by.
It is a very thin, wiry, but tall-looking construct.
Do I recognize him now that I'm...
Now that the name is connected, it's very similar looking.
Well, Hyperion,
They call me the Hype.
Serious mode off.
perhaps I'll visit you and your family if you wouldn't mind, or don't know if they'd mind.
I would like this. You seem familiar.
I could say the same about you. Where exactly are you? Do you live? Was your family's home in the city?
I believe the Restokes are in the royal ward. Let me double check. It's my loading screen sound. Yes, they are in the Highborn district, the Royal and Highborn districts.
Well, if I get there, I will try to. Don't get me wrong. I should come and visit if I can.
It will nod,
Good day.
and it will walk off.
Sweet.
So now that the conversation has died down at the Black Flagon Inn, I would like to open my packages from Celia.
Certainly, if you go to the letters and notes section under your handouts, you will see one that you can find that is for you to read.
Thanks. I will read this.
Okay. And I do not have my picture of Hyperion. Darn it! Different computer.
I've seen him.
Yeah, but nobody else has.
Yeah, we did on the glass window.
Ah, okay. I don't have a handout for it. Shame on me.
There was one other thing I wanted to go take a walk for.
Sure.
I want to go back to the Autumn Hall estate.
Okay.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go. Are there gate guards or?
There are 2 guards at the gate. Yes.
Greetings.
Turns. Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
They even salute.
I was wondering if the lady of the house is home.
Do you have an appointment, sir?
Yes.
Your name? Make a deception check.
Oh no.
24.
No, he's a dick.
That's
No, he's a nice guy.
25.
25 is the dick.
Damn it! Why did
Jesus.
I can't remember that to save my life.
Well, it's not bad. It's not a 10.
It's better than I did with a +3. And D8. Uh-oh.
No,
They-
just rolls dice.
Yeah, I mysteriously roll some dice in the background. One moment.
I
And
wonder
they
what she's
roll.
rolling.
Yeah, I rolled. One of them will. Well, one moment. I'll go alert her that you're here.
I appreciate it.
These are no wonder my grandpa died.
Jesus, the security in this place.
The world's worst cards.
Well, only one of them walked away, not both of them.
Okay.
Here's your complimentary piano wire.
And suddenly Miss Force realizes this is what you get for 2 silver a day.
I hope our guards are better than this.
And I'll look for through at the windows to see if she's peeking out. One of them to see who I am, and then I'll wave if she does.
Yes, this is definitely a man who has totally got an appointment.
There is no sign of window openings, but a few minutes later he will return. I'm afraid she is not available, and your name is not on a list for appointments.
No, must have been skipped. Is it possible to set up an appointment?
Yes.
Can I set up an appointment?
Certainly, she will available, and he actually holds up a list. 4 days.
All right.
Better than I expected.
Noon on the 4th. Very well.
I will write 2, 3 on the list. 4 days at 4 p.m.
And purpose?
Thank you.
I think you're gonna kill somebody.
No.
No, never.
23 was the murderer the entire time!
That is all.
Piano
Is I would
lessons.
like to extend my gratitude, and I would like to do so personally.
Okay. Sure. Make another deception check.
He does want to thank her probably for I don't know.
You're
Deception?
muted, by the way. You were muted for a second, by the way. Like
Did you say you want a deception check?
Deception, yeah.
It's
I
not
mean,
a. It's not
Huh?
a deception.
It's
I promise you, it's not.
decepting me?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
It's persuasion.
Now you have to roll real life dice to deceive Beth.
All right.
No, I'm not gonna murder Cerulean's parents because they're being dicks to him.
Okay. Definitely don't think that's what you're trying to do anymore.
I'm gonna kill their cat.
Yeah, that'll show him.
Send a message.
23 has gotten a taste of human violence, and he likes it.
It's like the scene from The Godfather with the racehorse. Ah!
Anyway,
Oh boy, that's what happens when you're
back
23.
at the tavern, the other package, core, is a
Mhm.
beautiful looking shield.
Ooh.
It is a memory strikes you, and you can actually take the shield. It connects to your arm. There's a it sinks into your arm and vanishes, and can be withdrawn.
Nice.
It is Core's shield. I will now give you the effect for it, since the effect attunes to you automatically.
It's just like, well, that was cool.
It is part of Core's design. Did you read the letter?
I did. If Cora could sob or something. I think that would have happened during it, but instead there is just like a silent folding of the letter and putting it away.
Aww.
Yeah, Cor was like, "Oh, I miss Celia so much."
Oh, dormant. Oh.
Sleepy shield.
It is Cor's shield, the Lifebinder's guardian.
Oh, snap.
All shields are +1, I think, right? So this is just a normal shield right now?
So shields are
plus
+2. This is a +3 shield.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is a
Well,
+3.
if you just take shield +1, add it in, and then give yourself a shield spell.
Okay.
Very nice.
You just suddenly became a big tank.
Woohoo!
All right. Is Cor going to share the contents of the letter?
They were probably personal.
What is the mood in the bar right now?
Everybody looks pretty somber.
I'm gonna sit on that information until there's a more like
Okay.
restful situation. But Cor will definitely tell everyone.
Okay. As the evening draws down to about 6:30, 7 o'clock, what are you all going to do?
I'm continuing to walk through the high mark looking for 23.
Roman, there you are. I'm not too hard to miss.
He's probably yelling out our secrets.
I figured you'd be just like right outside or somewhere else in the bar. You know, I didn't think you'd be almost across the whole ward. What are you doing over here?
I was going for a walk. You tend to from what I understand, a walk is you go more than just, around. Walk. You go just more around.
I just pictured 23's canon. Whenever a dog barks, he barks back at it.
It's canon now. It has to happen. Lots of dogs in the Highmark ward.
He can speak dog. But, okay. Just kind of didn't want you getting murdered or anything, so I figured I'd come check on you, and they're just kind of sulking in the bar into their booze, and it's not, I don't like that vibe, so I wanted to just kind of get out of there.
I get that. And there was a lot of, I wouldn't say scheming, what's the word? Conniving. No, not conniving. Planning. Planning's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Not the greatest at that, especially with these situations when it comes to an area that I'm completely unfamiliar with. Anyways, so I thought I'd get to know it a little bit. So I did.
Yeah. Well, if they ever let us, or if we ever figure a way across the bridge, I can show you where I come from.
Is it a pirate den? Is there a treasure island over there?
Someone could have
Do
treasure.
you know of a treasured island?
I don't know. Was there ever rumors while I was a pirate of some island of treasure?
There is.
How has this just come up and you're a pirate?
How have you not shared this?
There is actually a mystical island rumored called the Twilight Spire that nobody can get to because it is always surrounded by a storm of immense proportions.
Oh
It
no.
is rumored.
It's fucking Kong Island.
I mean, whether there's
It-
treasure on that island, I have no idea. I just know it's stormy there, and I've only sailed through that area kind of closer to the coast a couple times, but I don't know if I'd call it treasure. I barely believe it exists.
I mean, I'm made of storm, so maybe I could get us in if you know what I'm saying. I think I'm made of storm. We kind of defeat the purpose if we were called the Storm Legion without actually being made of a storm. Anyways.
I mean, if we didn't have so much to do here, I would 100% be down, and my vote would be for that. I mean, it's half the reason why we got core. I mean, you guys were all anti-ship, and then, I convinced you guys around to it, and now we have core, so.
That is very true.
Mm-hmm.
You are an astounding individual.
Mm-hmm. I have got that just keen eye for adventure and knowing where we should go.
So next we go to...
Back to the bar to get our friends.
Well, after all of this, after Marcera, we go to...
I don't know where you want to go to.
I want to go to the Misty Island. I want to go to the
Okay, we'll go to the Misty Island then.
And then God
Hell
goes,
yes.
"Oh, you want to go to the level 20 area? All right."
Why do they have skulls over their head?
Why is everyone red and scully?
Why is the aggro range 5 miles away?
Well,
Anyway.
let's go talk to our sad friends. Hopefully they haven't drowned yet in the booze. Or maybe they have. Yeah.
I will go in.
Okay. What are we going to be doing?
This sangria tastes absolutely awful. I don't know what they're doing at this bar.
They don't serve sangria at the bar.
Sorry, that was an inside joke for Zoe.
Is it box sangria?
No, it's just really shitty, cheap sangria.
I miss booze. Anyway.
Sorry.
I guess it's time to settle on this, isn't it?
Settle on what? What did I miss?
Anything
Just-
good?
No, just lamenting on the fact that it may actually be time to go home.
I think Renaud gets to go see his family now.
Oh, second trip. And are you even half drunk yet?
He will look down at the mug of ale, which he barely drank any of. No.
We can make this a full drunk thing. That would be interesting.
That would be a really bad idea.
I am
Probably.
I'm more delightful when I drink, so I think, maybe if we all just go.
Remember last time that Roman got really drunk on like a 4-day bender in Crimson Witch before we all almost died? It was
Mhm.
great.
Mhm.
It was quite an adventure.
It-
Truly,
It was amazing, yes.
I think the giants were less of a threat.
Saying
When
it's
we
an
do
option.
this, I would like you all to please be on your best behavior.
I already planned on it.
I'm always on my best behavior.
Define
Yeah,
best.
see, that's what scares me. Because
That's the scary part. This is 10% his best.
this
When
is,
did
this, is
Renard
not,
learn vicious mockery?
this is not something where I'm looking to scare you all. I'm definitely not looking to be upset with you all with how you act. It's,
Fine, I
met my father. He expects things to go a very certain way, and if you upset him, he can make life very hard for you.
Well, how about this? Before we go in there, I will damn it, I will cast Eagle Splinter on myself, so I'm very charming.
I just say we all not talk unless talking to.
I don't plan on it, but
Spoken
just
to.
in case.
Spoken to. Words are hard.
Would you like Fox's cunning? 23.
I don't know what that means.
It means I give you bonuses to intelligence.
No. Anyway, I'm quite happy the way I am.
You're lovely.
Thank you. I appreciate
All
it.
right. As you're sitting here, Renard will cast Sending, and he is going to cast Sending to Bertram and basically say, heading to the estate now. If you want to come with us, now is the time. Good luck getting through.
The reply is, "I will after my jaw heals."
Lola.
He just kind of tilts his head to the side and is like, sure.
It's all coming together.
Everything makes sense.
Great waste of a third level spell slot, sure.
Before we stand up, Struan's like reaching up and like sliding back his hair, making sure it's like correct, and he just sort of shakes it and says, "That's fine."
You look fine, Cerulean.
Speaking of looks, should we change things? I don't know how. I've never met a high family before, so I don't know if
Do not change how you are. Come as you are. I don't want them to think anything of you all that you aren't. I'm not ashamed of you all. It's just I don't want you all to get in trouble with the wrong person.
I want me on my best behavior.
23 goes in for a hug.
Aww.
Rainer will give a very polite pat on the back of 23. Yes, 23. You are a very good friend.
And I will whisper in your ear,
We have to talk about something later. It's very important.
Was it subtle or was it just obvious?
it was a whisper. So where
Big laughs. Reynard is just like, oh.
This dog gave me information.
the real thought is like there is nothing like despite that is still not as scary as meeting my father again.
I don't know. That was pretty terrifying.
Like regardless of what 23 is up to, it's not as scary as going home again. All right. Well, shall we? Thank you, Melody. Let's leave the coin on my tab. I'll probably be back here again to drink before long.
All right, love. See you soon. All
I
right.
suppose we're off to the Montpellier estate.
You are
Cerulean.
indeed off. But
I was gonna say Cerulean buttons up his jacket to make him more formal.
Roman will do a little prestidigitation just to get the dirt off, and maybe throw a little prestidigitation of cologne on his neck. Gotta rinse it up a little bit.
I'm glad you all are acting this way for my family, but not Cerulean's family.
We didn't really get a chance.
Yeah, she kind of didn't want to see any of us. So.
Yeah, and Renard yelled at us for, told us we had to behave, so.
He's not yelling at you, he's warning you.
To be fair, Cerulean did say that like his family's very welcoming, so
Yeah, they seem that way.
they normally are.
They were waiting at the gate for us.
which, by the way, Cerulean, despite the opinion, as you have time to mull over it, your mom was acting out of character. But death of a family. But
Just thinking on it, did something just not feel right? Besides, obviously, the body hanging
you
like.
didn't roll high enough of an insight to figure that out.
That's fair. That's fair.
She seemed very like she was blaming you.
Like I said, it's. I completely understand where she's coming from. I can't be mad at her.
Cerulean, this just crosses my mind suddenly. What if she was just... You said she's not normally like that.
Well, my grandfather was hanging from a gate.
Well, what if... Is she normally very loving of you?
She's loving of everyone. She's kind. Probably one of the kindest people I've ever met.
What if she... I think... Yeah, what if she was trying to keep you away?
She said your father didn't know about it. How could he not have known? Your grandfather was hanging outside the gate all morning and from the previous night. There's a crowd outside.
He stays at work for long periods of time.
Something suddenly doesn't add up.
Do we just go and... I know your mom said stay away, but maybe it's time to take a lesson from Roman and 23
What?
and just kind of stick your nose where you're not supposed to be?
What? No. I was told I should be around. I'm not going to be around.
Why not?
I don't want to intrude. I don't want to be rude. And
It's your house, Cerulean.
Something's up. I mean,
I suddenly have a very bad feeling.
Look, let's go to Renard's house. I don't want to think about it right now. The faster, and plus I think the faster Renard is able to go in and out of the estate, the better he'll be.
Roman will kind of get very serious when he's like, do you want me to go watch your estate and he'll think about it for about an hour. Won't notice me. I can kind of keep an eye on things in case someone comes through that shouldn't be or something.
I don't want to cause any more trouble.
Well, but something just... It doesn't seem right. I could stay with Roman. It's not like I'm going to do very well with Renard's family. Let's just all be frank about that.
I don't want to cause any more trouble with my mother right now. She's already going through enough.
Tempest, you might have a little trouble staying with me, as I'm gonna use a little magic to kind of just hang out and remain unseen.
You do realize I'm very good at staying unseen, right?
You're blue.
All the more reason I learned early on to avoid sight.
I think it's best that we just honor Cerulean's wishes. It's his family. It's not ours.
All right, just had to put
Fine.
the option on the table.
It's
I'm
fine.
going to assume that you guys were having this conversation as you're
Yeah.
walking.
On the way.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Okay.
to mention splitting up when there's a killer intent on killing mages out there seems like a very bad idea.
But I'm
And
not oh, wait.
and even if my father was at work, when he knows I'm here, I can only assume that I'll probably be getting another visit from family soon enough anyway.
Does you, considering the conversation, the wibbly wobbly stuff that's going on, I established. Did you at any point mention actually wanting to see your aunt?
She's missing. He missing.
She's
her.
missing. She's
Right,
missing.
right. That's right. I missed that. I apologize.
But
So I would not. All right.
Okay.
The journey to the Montpellier estate is going to require a little bit of a walk, unless you guys decide to take the train.
Wee train.
You are
Oh
training?
my god! Yay, trains!
If it's actually faster, sure, why not?
I'd argue it's a little bit faster. Okay. The trek itself is uneventful. With the proper paperwork, the guards will let you pass. Most of them are pretty tired and don't want to be there. You get the impression a lot of them are bored out of their minds or soulless, monotonous guards. However, as you arrive at the exterior gate of the Montpellier estate, there are the better part of, you can tell, 6 guards, full plate mail, pikes, short swords, long swords, shields. They're armed. These are man-at-arms. Are standing outside the gate. And as you approach, a gentleman with a lovely black suit and a pair of coattails behind it will approach, a butler that you do not recognize, Reynard. But he will then address all of you with a bow. Welcome, Miss Fortune. And he will bow. Your father is expecting you, Reynard. The rest of you are, of course, invited to attend as well.
And you are?
Let's look at my notes. Gosh darn it. I think I'd have that ready. Talaman, sir. Talaman.
Calaman, I see. Have you been working
T-A-L-A-M-E-N.
and have you been working for my father long?
6 to 7 months, sir.
Lead us inside.
Of course. And he will bring you in. Opening up through a grand set of double doors reveals, standing in front, a beautifully sculpted dragon statue in the grand foyer of this room. Walking around it, you can see a set of stairs that go up into the upper levels, but he guides you through a set of side doors that go around either bit. As the door opens up, he will then pause for all of you to wait for a moment. And I will bring up my notes again.
Tim's just gonna cast that spell on himself, enhance ability real fast.
You're casting a spell?
I would have cast it before we got in the house.
Okay.
The charisma bonus, enhance ability.
And you hear the Talaman then say, now presenting the adventuring company, Mist Fortune. And you are gestured to walk in.
Does anyone clap?
There is no noise.
Yeah, Renard just walks inside.
Okay. A chamber that you're in looks to almost be some sort of large-scale dining room with 2 heavy-set tables to either side, each of them sitting about 12 chairs apiece. Throughout the room, there are a handful of knights, and you can see servants lining the walls. There is a single high-back chair with Robert sitting in it. To his left is a dark-haired, very vividly green-eyed looking woman. Standing before this almost kind of dais that the chair and Robert stand upon are 2 other individuals. Put that up there. One of them you'd swear it was Reynard, but just cropped perfectly, sculpted, clean, perfect hair, perfect teeth, perfect face, and bright red hair. And the other, a little less well-to-do, but nonetheless intimidating in her presence, is a kind of a mousy-looking reddish brunette. And as you all not prostrate yourselves, but gather up before him, Robert will then...
You can ask a lot of this party, but I don't think any of us are going to prostrate for anybody in this game.
I'm sorry. Get yourselves gathered. Robert will then stand up. Thank you for accepting my invitation, son.
Well, how could I refuse after you spoke so openly in front of the lords?
Indeed. And to the rest of you, thank you for your services to the city so far, and for the works you have done in the Adanian Vale. It has been of a great boon to the Empire and her holdings. You have my thanks.
Cerulean will give a bow in response. Like, just a respectful vow.
I will copy Cerulean.
I'm gonna just give a simple head bow.
He will then look to everybody around the room. Leave us. To which all of the retainers, guards, and your sister and brother walk away. The only one who remains is Evelyn. And he sits back down and just seems to be thinking for a moment before he finally says, "You have no doubt noticed the state of affairs in the city are dire."
That's certainly a word for it.
Oh, I'm glad you've noticed. These things have not happened in a vacuum. It has been a unfortunate series of events that have occurred over the last year. It started small, a vote here or there, increased security. But every time another vote is cast, more measures are taken. Over the last few years, the Lords Temporal have had direct changes to their voting habits and personalities. All in the name of increased securities, presumably because of the worrying threat of the Silent Dark. Measures have been put forward to curtail the use of magic. A new sect of the Alakam Arcanum has come up called the God Hand. The influx of technology from across the sea has been put in danger. Ships being hijacked by pirates and cargo seized, stolen, and then ransomed to the highest bidder, including to Ishanor. These punitive measures to contain the populace in the current districts, fostering class divides. Punishments invented for small crimes and other social injustices against those who stand up against the royalty or the House of Nobles. There are things afoot, Misfortune, and the city needs your help. And he'll sit back again. And what say you to that, Reynard?
This is what you called me home for? You couldn't bring this up in front of the other lords?
If you knew what I knew, saying such things openly is paramount to political suicide.
So you think that the other lords are involved in this?
I'm
You're just
absolutely
not
sure
sure
of
who.
it. For instance, this terrorist organization, Nightfall, they've been operating in Marseille for years. Their lead contact is a man named Warwick Arathor. But this is outside these murders, not their normal running. The Silent Eye has been remarkably silent on the topic. The City Watch has been unhelpful. And even the Thieves Guild have been quiet about this.
Yes.
A silence seems to take over the group.
Mm-hmm.
My lord, if I may.
Thanks.
Core doesn't want to get involved in these family squabbles.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
this is not just a family squabble here. This is clearly something bigger than that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely you and your dad conversing.
Yeah, it's awkward for us to jump in.
You have my invitation to speak, Misfortune. You all are experienced adventurers and have no doubt have experience in dealing with what I suspect is a plot by some organization. If not the Silent Dark, then somebody who uses their techniques.
My lord, I do have a question. I would assume you help oversee the majority of these votes that have gone on in the past year, yes?
I have.
Do you know my father, yes?
Edwin Autumnhall. I do.
Has he seemed different?
He pauses to think about it. He has changed the way he normally works. Longer hours, busies himself all the time. I don't see much of him, except when it's time for him to vote.
And I know that, was that normally the case, or was it like I was gonna say he was trying to do an even balance.
He always worked, but he's paid attention to the family. It looks like the way it's gearing now is Genevieve is paying most of attention to the state affairs of state.
That's. I apologize. I've been gone for quite some time, and I found out quite a few things that have happened, and I just want to get a clear picture.
Rowan will kind of look at Renard, then speak, and we don't have any information to go off of, probably nothing more than what you already have, but with your station, would you be able to give us some freedom throughout the city? It's hard for us to nail down who might be behind all this if we're locked together all the time and forced to move, restricted from half of the city.
If I were to give you my open support, it would jeopardize my position, my family's position. What I can recommend is you find an avenue of approach, perhaps by working for one of the organizations I previously just mentioned. Silent Eye, Nightfall, if you can get a hold of them. The City Watch, if you're feeling so bold. There's also the possibility of working with the Lights of Marcera, the local thieves guild that operate on the other side of the river.
Would you... apologies for speaking out, but might you know of a way for us to get across that river? I could find a way across myself, but as a group we are stronger.
Normally travel is restricted, and I can grant you permission. It will take me a few days to get the notice. The unfortunate effect of it is, the city is sequestering itself into its districts to keep the poor people out. They come in for work, then they leave.
Surely that's fomenting some form of resentment.
It absolutely is. A civil divide on top of a racial divide. Mr. Tempest, this city is almost on the brink of civil war.
What if you hired us to investigate something else? Just on the surface. There is a killer stalking the streets, murdering mages. The Alchemy has not had any success in finding it. If we need to investigate the entire city, that'd be more than enough grounds to give us permission to investigate it as a pass. It would not be showing favoritism, it'd be showing a desire to catch a killer.
I cannot grant that, but if you speak to the Alakam with my recommendation, I bet it can happen.
We need to speak with them regardless.
The thought
Be careful with them. Be careful with them, Reynard.
You have reason to suspect them, my lord?
I suspect anybody who wields as much power as they do.
Have they as well shifted the way they do things in the last couple of years?
They have cracked down substantially on non-registered mages. And registered mages that cast spells, they somehow seem to be seemingly aware of it, and will track you down and want to know why you're casting.
Oh. Oh.
You need to be careful with them. The God Hand are not to be toyed with.
For the workers that are allowed to come across and work and return home, would you either know someone or be able to give us papers that appear to be legit, saying that we're workers, that way we could board the train home?
He just seems to scowl at that thought. No.
I don't think he wants his son as part of the common rabble.
No, it is not quite that. 23.
I think he's worried about us getting caught and that somehow being traced back, I assume.
The House of Nobles no doubt knows that you are coming here. I made that very clear. And I intended to disguise it as a matter of a spare of home and family. If you suddenly start investigating the city, they will tie it to me.
We can't be obvious about this, 23.
I'm not obvious about anything, it's fine.
You yell our secrets. Never mind, it's not a thing.
It's the reason we need to double down on the fact that we should make it painfully obvious when looking for a killer.
Indeed.
I
You can
think
go to the city watch for that. That will give you a good lead. Clint Cromwell, the marshal, is a good man.
I believe by all means we could tie this. I'm sorry for saying this, Cerulean, but we're tied to you and your grandfather was just murdered. I hardly think it would be suspicious if we started looking into it.
This is the point where Robert will, for his brow, Cedric Autumnhall was murdered.
You
Apparently
hadn't heard. Sorry.
Apparently his body was found this morning and they just took it down a few hours ago.
Hanging.
From the gate, yes.
It seems to fall in line with the killer.
So, your lordship. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to add on. Renard did say he found something else that the investigators did not seem to find with the other bodies, though. Maybe they just negligence, or they knew and they just lied.
Again, I would not put it past them, but they were designed to hunt down corrupt mages. But if they themselves are corrupted, who watches the watchers?
Exactly. And my lord, surely it wouldn't be odd for us to investigate this. After all, he's our dear friend. Why wouldn't we?
At this point, Evelyn will lean down and kind of mutter something under her breath towards Robert, and he seems to be thinking about this for a moment. Let's see. He would look at all of you. Find an organization to work with, not related to me, or act independently as you would see fit. I have paid for your docking fees for the duration of your stay for the next week. However, that will not last for long. Marseille is expensive if you occupy a port for very long. If you can find a sponsor, they will cover the expenses of your living here. Unless you wish to park your ship off the coast.
We'll look into it.
You sound disappointed, Reynard. Were you expecting something?
From you? Never.
There's a real awkward silence. I will speak to you privately when this is done.
Wait.
I think we should really start looking into this as soon as possible, don't you?
I insist.
Then we should be going.
He will stand, and he will gesture for you to follow him.
Clearly, his intention did not get through on that one, as he meant he was just going to fucking leave and get started on this.
He is getting started on this. Misfortune, I avail yourselves to my manor. Eat and drink as you see fit.
All right. Thank you.
Will do.
So
not-
Forge goes, sure.
Do not, sir, do not worry that will... Surely you've brought us
He
here.
does not respond. He walks into his room.
Okay, that's lovely. Right.
It's nice,
Okay.
nice meeting you all. And Core would wave to the siblings.
It's just Evelyn, I think.
Oh, it's just Evelyn right now.
That's the sister, right?
Yeah,
No,
there's also
that's the
Perfect
mom.
Brother.
Oh, it's the mom that's there.
Evelyn is the mom.
Oh, why does it say she's
No,
the sister?
Evelyn's the sister. Jean's
I'm
the
sorry.
mom.
God.
Jean is
Jean is there. I'm sorry. I mistook
Okay.
that.
Ah,
I assumed that. I just kind of wrote it down as Jean.
The raven-haired woman is the mom.
Okay.
Reynard, he will guide you through the library and then into his office.
I don't think our norm's going.
He will reluctantly move to follow after everybody else just kind of makes their way out.
I'm gonna cast a spell while you. No, actually, bad idea. I'm not doing that anymore.
You're pretty familiar with the house, Reynard, and this looks very much the same as you left it. Sprawling books across a grand library in your father's private office, with a wonderful little chessboard to your right and his great mahogany desk littered with paperwork and other miscellaneous items laid upon it. And he will turn, his back is turned to you, his hand kind of resting on the table. Madness and stupidity.
What about it? The
It
city
seems
is devolving into a state of corruption, madness, hatred, and outright destitute. And here I am watching you the same as you ever been. Was you really so powerless to stop any of this?
I am but one man.
What man?
I have done what I have done for the family, Reynard. I stuck around for the family. You left. Do not think I am so stupid to think that your little expedition for the conservatory was anything more than a farce trying to hide the fact that you are a coward running away from your duty.
Maybe I did run. Maybe I did study abroad with a man named Numos Goldmane for my embodiment of enchantment. Maybe because of that, I ended up saving the goddamn world. Or maybe you didn't hear? Or is the family not a part of the world anymore?
The world. You killed a few hobgoblins and stole a relic.
oh dear.
The very source of our civilization is collapsing, and you're arguing with me about it.
I'm sitting here telling you that for once in your goddamn life, would it kill you to appreciate what I have done for someone?
You did
Yes, they were a
nothing
couple of
except for
fucking
yourself.
hobgoblins. For myself. You think I risked my life in Crimson Witch for myself? You think I did that thinking about what you would think of me when I finally came home? No, I had a whole year to think about that. Contemplating how you might actually respond to the fact that I did good in the world, even if I wasn't doing it as Montelier.
Yes, ashamed of your name. Lord Jarmath contacted me. Apparently you were very good in the assisting of the city's finances. At least you
Oh.
learned something useful from me.
Can't imagine how I did that. Maybe I paid more attention than I thought.
Seemed to be mulling his thoughts for a moment before he taps his finger on the desk a few times. The city is on a brink, and I am doing everything I can to hold it together. The queen is not ready. She is led by a mage of enchantment. No doubt he's under a spell. She's under a spell of some sort. The armies are gathering, but they're going to march somewhere. I don't know possibly where. They don't inform me of that.
What possible
Jacques?
reason could the armies have to march?
An excellent question. I wish I knew. Ishinon, they're going to the Bulwark for training. Jacques seems very intent on going, and he won't tell me anything. And your sister and her tendencies to deviancy. There's no one in this family to whom I have relied upon yet. That's why I'm now speaking to you, son.
You wonder why?
No. But out of all of them, you are the only one who seems to have any semblance of rationale behind them. Jacques looks for valor and glory in his own nobility. Evelyn cares not for any of it. You, despite your protests, clearly do. So I leave this to you. The city needs saving. If you can save it. If you retain the image of our family in the end. I will consider you as the heir to the estate.
The heir to the family.
Yes. Do me a
I noticed-
favor and don't fuck it up.
I also noticed you didn't mention Bertram in any of that. Is he so far gone that you don't even consider him your son anymore?
He is not my son.
He's in the city, you know.
I do.
Or you're not even aware. He came home because I convinced him. I told him he should see the family again, even after everything.
And yet where is he?
There was a bit of a debacle before the events transpired. Something about a purple tiefling.
Cunt. Lapis.
If that's a name.
Before your time. A fling. She's nothing.
Sure. I don't know what you expect me to do as the head of the family, but at the very least, I'm planning on making what's right in the city. Doing what I can. But I'm sure you've heard from someone by now. News travels awfully fast here in Marcera, even with the gates. You spoke with Angela. Made a request.
For what?
You don't know. Color me surprised. I left the conservatory for a while, and I've come back. And I'm starting to realize in my time in the world just how things are starting to develop. And looking at Marcera and the way it is now, I think it's more important than ever that we have the right people doing the right thing in the right position of power. And I made a request to be made an inquisitor of the Elohim Arcanum.
The arrogance. Sheer fucking arrogance. I offer you everything in this house and more, and you want even more from it. Fine. If I were to write you this recommendation, what's in it for me? What do you do for the family, Reynard?
Other than everything, apparently.
No. In the meantime.
I'm going about this secret little affair for the better of Marcera. By doing so, keeps the family in power.
You were doing that anyway.
And now you want more. Everything and more.
And it seems we have leverage.
If you call it that. I noticed you didn't actually offer to give them anything for doing this. save the day, save the city, be heralded as heroes, but no. Robert Montelier couldn't even commit to a single gold piece in exchange. Just get it done. Of course you'll be reimbursed. There's no need to dismiss it. Of course you will. There's no need to question it. Just do it.
A mercenary wants gold, Reynard. You are not a mercenary.
Then what am I?
I was hoping you were my son, but apparently I am a little mistaken in that.
Of course I'm still your son. That's why I came home in the first place. Gone for 2 years. I had to come home eventually. That's why I told Bertram to come home, because he is your son as well. You saw it yourself. You said it yourself. I was acting as exchequer for Lord Jarmath and Crimson Witch. Even when I was rebelling, I was still acting as your goddamn son. And look what I have to show for it. I wasn't even welcome home. I was given demands. I was yelled at in the middle of a council of lords.
And you wouldn't have come unless I did so.
After what I just said, do you really believe that?
I do. Your revolution for me is not hidden. But it is irrelevant. You and I can hate each other until the end of time. What matters is the continued existence of our city.
I hope you actually understand things one day, beyond this small purview of what you find important. Maybe
may
before
never
it's
know.
all said and done. We'll find the killer. We will look into these organizations, and we will start to understand what plot is developing here in Marcera. Of that you can be assured.
Snake?
Hold on, I think somebody's sending me ascending.
Nightfall's calling.
Very well. You have my leave. And he will go to sit at his chair.
He will leave.
And that seems like a good time to take a break. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll be back in about 10-15 minutes. Welcome back. So, Renard, as you're getting ready to depart from your father's room, the rest of you outside, food is brought out. Decent enough. You were able to eat if you so desire.
I so desire. 23 so desires.
Kink, kink, kink.
I'm making a mess of it, but I feel like it's impolite to say no.
I'm just sitting next to you, just like 23. You've never mind.
I'll clean out the inside part later. Don't worry about it.
What about the outside part?
That Bernard can help with that. He has his prejudice.
Prestidigitation.
That sure, that one.
To which you hear a voice behind you. Oh, I got that. Broop, broop, and you feel the mess get cleaned up. And as you turn around, there is Evelyn Montelier.
You probably don't want to entertain him. He'll just keep making a mess.
There's something endearing about him, I'm not gonna lie. Like a puppy dog kind of cute.
He is, isn't he?
Despite the mess, you just want to hug him.
I have saved the world twice. Slayed countless undead.
And hobgoblins.
Countless hobgoblins.
There you go.
To be called puppy dog cute.
I can't help it. It's what you are.
I know, but it's just that Celia would be... I feel like a little bit disappointed, but also a little amused.
Or is distractedly reading her note again for like the 4th time.
Aww.
It's nice to meet all of you. I'm Evelyn Montelier. I'm Reynard's older sister.
You're so likable.
Don't tell that to father.
So, where does Renard get his quirk from then?
Gee, I wonder. he's not nearly so far from father as he'd like to think, but at least unlike father, Reynard's got a heart of gold, whether he wants to admit it or not. And you hear, still a little bitch, to which Jock will walk up. Misfortune, huh? Nice to meet all of you.
You must be Jacques.
I am.
I've heard so much about you.
Have you really?
Well, not from Renard.
I'm really confused about There's a pause and a huh?
You're on the brother. Bertram, I worked with him quite a bit.
The moment you say his name, there is just a scowl that crosses his face.
Oh.
Before it recovers. Only the good things, I'm sure.
No, he said you're a dick.
Damn it, 23. Damn it, 23.
Rome's just like, oh, so proud.
This isn't just Michael cracking up. Tempest is cracking up.
My favorite part is Reynard is actually here for this because this is after the conversation, so he's just making no comment on it.
Also, I feel like 100% things Bertram would say.
Probably.
Well, the feeling's mutual, and I beat him in a fight every time.
Oh.
Probably a little bit jealous.
That's very impressive.
I'd care to take you up on that offer.
You'd lose.
Place your bets, place your bets.
Roman is just awkwardly eating because he didn't eat at the tavern and he's hungry.
Tell you what.
I mean,
23. In 2 months, there's going to be a tournament.
We're already entered.
Are you?
no, we're not.
No.
It will be, though.
Doesn't know that.
That's a good deception check.
We're there.
I mean, we were going to sign up, so.
As he just gives you a very intent look, 23. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh.
That's not cool.
We're just
I see-
attacking each other now? Let's do it.
Do
No,
I
no,
see him making spell things?
No, he's just there.
Jaboy is not great at wisdom.
No,
Ah,
we-
there we
But that's a 20.
That's a
Jesus,
fucking
dude.
20. There is an aura that just seems to shake off of him. It's not really palpable, but for the briefest of moment, you're a little bit taken aback from this guy. You clench your teeth, question mark, but you're not afraid of him. He has an intimidating presence to him, and even Evelyn backs up a little bit. You might actually be fun to fight. I look forward to it.
This feeling is mutual.
Give you him what class he is.
Yep.
God, I hate him. To which Evelyn just mutters as she sits down. Oh, my God. How's Daddy?
He just sits down at the table and reaches for what must be the strongest liquor at the table.
Wine.
The same.
Yes. Yes. Yes, he is. How about you? How are you feeling? Still the same?
I suppose I am.
Well.
So how have things been at home? I feel like if I'm going to get an honest answer out of anybody.
Oh, the more things change, the more things stay the same. It's really bizarre around here. Daddy's been up to a lot of work lately, up all night it feels like sometimes, but...
He is.
Well, yeah. Apparently there's a lot going on if you haven't noticed.
Apparently he's not the only one. What's Mother been up to?
Who, I'm sorry?
Mother.
Running the affairs of state.
So she's not doing anything out of the ordinary.
As she leans in, Mother has never been one for accounting and finances, if you catch my drift.
Well, I imagine she would not have been much in the hands of that, considering how good Father is at it.
Father's not here very much. And Mother vanishes a lot, too. Be careful around her. Something is amiss in this city, and it has infected this family.
Apparently it's infected everyone. Nothing is as it seems. No one is acting in their right mind. It's like the entire damn city's been turned on its head. Literally and figuratively.
Anyway, I have to go back to the conservatory. I have a date. Until later. And she will stand up and bow before her father, who just waves her off. Your dinner is able to be eaten within peace. Nobody bothers you.
Is it just us in here?
There are a few other people nearby, mostly retainers or servants if you need anything.
Okay.
But none of the family.
Not really.
Roman's probably eating like any bits of meat he's probably eating like with his hand and whatnot. There's a lot to unpack just in this house.
You're starting to make me happy I don't have a family, if I'm totally honest.
Oh, don't worry, Tempest. Your drama's coming.
I know.
I suggest that we eat, enjoy ourselves as much as one possibly can, and then we should go back to the Dawn Runner.
Can we... Where... Yes, it stops. Never mind, sorry.
As you all finish your dinner, where are you heading? What are you doing?
Train to the Dawn Runner.
Yeah.
Do
Let's go
you
home.
want to go to the Dawn Runner, or do you want to go to the Black Flag Inn?
I would like to pass by the Autumn Hall estate if we could possibly manage that in some way or fashion.
Not in the same direction.
There's no door on the south side of the Highmark Ward. We literally have to go in there to it and be like, hey, we're
Shit.
just passing by. You know, we're going to go back to where we came.
I just realized that there is no door on the south side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Damn.
As you make your way through the city streets, night has fallen, and it's quiet out. A lot of the people seem to have gone about. There are occasional passerbyers here or there, and you can see knights patrolling from time to time. As you all are walking, Reynard, you feel a tap on your shoulder. And as you peer, there is a girl about 5'5". Her face is brought up, covered by a brown mask, with her head is hooded, and she just, shh, follow me, and points to a nearby alley.
What the fuck?
I'm going to need you to give me one
Hurry,
good
please.
reason.
Please.
It's one of those situations where, like, I feel like this NPC needs to be making a really damn good persuasion check against me.
She holds up a little lens about the size of a $50. Says, I need you to see something. Please.
Are the rest of us aware of this or no?
You're there.
She's
She's there.
whispering.
She's
Okay.
she's whispering to Reynard.
Mhm.
I'm going to give you 1 minute.
She will try to bring you over to a nearby alley. Kind of shrouded.
Mm-hmm.
Just her.
Has his hammer out ready just in case.
Okay, you have your hammer out? Okay.
I'll kind of eye everyone, just weapons out.
Okay.
I'll blink my eyes and I'll innately cast detect magic, and I'll look at that lens.
It's probably a spell component.
Not quite.
Oh, never mind.
It is faintly magical, and it looks to be surrounded in divination.
Logical.
Anything on her?
Daggers.
Magic daggers. Okay.
She will hand the lens to Reynard and say, "Look out this alley and wait."
And then she just stands there.
She hands you the lens.
Does she stay or leave?
She's still there.
Is this like a magnifying glass kind of thing?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Every fiber of my being is like, just insight checker. But what the fuck am I going to learn in an insight check? Reynard will, against his better judgment, do it.
Okay. You pause and look through a minute, and nothing seems to happen. As it happens, you hear the clank, 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 clank of a set of guards walking past. You all see 2 armored knights and what looks to be a member of the Alakam. But Reynard sees something else entirely. And they look like these.
Is this Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
I told you it was doppelganger. Oh, that's not good.
Creatures that you have not seen before, but there is a familiarity to them. Tall, gangly, skeletal, clearly undead of some sort.
Maybe we'll watch them go by for a brief moment before he just... Okay, now you have my attention.
I'll be on your ship at midnight. And she will take the lens back if you give it to her.
Mm-hmm.
And dart off.
Are the knight-like individuals, are they dressed more like a common guard?
They look like knights.
Okay.
Bernard, you look a little shell-shocked. What's wrong?
We should be getting back to the Dawn Runner.
All right.
Should we be prepared for trouble?
We should be getting back to the Dawn Runner and not talking about anything where people can be listening to us.
Okay, fine.
Okay. As you return to the Dawn Runner, mounting the gangplank that leads up to it, you can see Tamaray sitting on Bertram's shoulder. Bertram got a wonderful black eye.
I'm sure he gave as good as he got.
A real shiner. But he'll smile at all of you and go, "Oh, hey guys.
Bertram,
How'd it go?"
good. Met your family.
Oh, there was.
That was a pleasant experience.
Met Shark.
It was an experience.
You're right. He is a dick.
I
Yeah.
can't pick words of mouth.
Yeah, he's a whole tool shed, 23. Not even a
Shut up,
box.
dicks.
A tool shed of dicks.
I'm so confused.
He's so many tools.
Anyways.
Anyway, nothing really has happened. A lot of gawkers trying to get, want to see the ship, but I didn't let anybody on.
Good.
Tamaray, I like her. And she kind of squawks.
And he will look at Tamaray and just kind of mentally ask her, how much did you steal from him?
And you get the impression, all of it.
Good.
All right.
We should meet in the war room.
We have a war room. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, remember Reynard proofed it. Soundproofed it? Magic-proofed it? I don't remember all the details.
Everything proofed the war room.
All right.
Perfect.
It is secured. And as you walk up to it, Renard will say the password, which is...
There's no password. Only one of the members of Misfortune can open the door.
It's the safe that has the password.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of which,
Safe
I'm going to
password.
be collecting my stuff now that I can carry it, and I'm going to walk off to the arugula safe.
The safe is in the war room, right?
No, safe's in
it's-
Roman's room.
No, it's in the armory.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
in
it's
the
not
armory.
armory.
Armory. Okay.
We wouldn't trust it in Roman's room, let's be honest.
I
That's
got it
just
for
wrong.
everyone. I just need to get my 5,000 out of it and put it in my bag of holding now.
Mm.
It's a little bit lighter. You don't know how. All right.
War room.
So
Right,
once
you
we
all
get into
gather.
the war room and we can close the door and we are protected from people scrying on us or listening to us or even reading our goddamn lips because we made this so super protected and safe, Bernard will just look over and at that point he'll say, "We should search this room so thoroughly to make sure there's no stowaways on board."
How could anything have gotten in here, though?
23 begins searching the room.
I'm looking too, I'm just kind of like, I'm confused.
We would be foolish not to double check and make sure.
Fortunately, as you investigate the room thoroughly, there does not appear to be anybody who got on board.
Should we check the ship as well, Renaud?
Just out of precaution and because Reynard is super paranoid about what he saw, I'm going to use the spell Dispel Magic, and I'm going to use as a blanket to dispel any invisibility effects that might be in range inside this room.
Damn.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, he's paranoid, guys. This shit is unnerving him.
Fair.
So, and he will relay what he saw when the individual handed him the lens glass.
The gods are undead?
I don't know if all of them are, but I know the individuals. Those 3 people creeping through the street, they were definitely undead. They were familiar undead. You remember the fight we had at the library when Kevin learned about his past? That sort of familiar undead.
Would you describe them, please?
He will describe them in excruciating detail.
Do I recognize them? Or the
They
sound of
are stillborn remnants.
Yep. Not good. Not good. I told you.
So, here's members of the city guard and the what's the word? What's the name of the mage thing?
Oh, I'm sorry. There is one thing additional to them that was on there. They were marked, and on them I have to make a handout for it. I'm sorry, silly me. Did not. I have like 1,000 things for it, but I didn't actually make a handout for it.
Mhm.
It had a symbol on it.
To be, well, Renard recognized them.
It is a symbol of a black hand.
the black
So
hand.
guys, well, apparently we're working our way through the chromatic alphabet of hands, or chromatic color scheme of hands.
Yeah, you've gone through the red hand. Now it's the black hand of doom.
Are you telling me it's the blue hand next, green hand?
So
On the black hand, did it say "we know"?
so the black hand is unfamiliar to me, correct, Beth?
Yes.
I think it's unfamiliar to all of us.
Well, specifically me and Core, because we were fighting.
Well, I think Zoe or Core should have revealed a little bit of information.
Was that in the book from?
It was.
Yeah, Core would have allowed people to look at that and read it. I don't know how much of it Core has read at this point, but it's basically from Nikolai Goodmain. And it's about the fall of the Dawn Spire and the enemies they fought.
This is just getting better and better.
Well, at least we know it's not just other people being dicks. It's the dicks we were already worried about.
So, if they're taking over the guards, what's to say they're not taking over the nobles?
I'm
They're not
assuming they're.
taking over everything.
Renard, could we get some, like, goggles or something that do that thing that would ever let you see what they were?
I don't exactly know what magic was on it. I didn't have a lot of time to look at it.
Before we run down this rabbit hole of the stillborn dead being here already, is there any way that that lens had basically forced you to see them? So, like, they weren't actually that?
Can I make an Arcana check? I'm getting the impression that lens basically gave me a form of true sight.
It was a
Yeah.
form of true sight. Yeah.
Well, I was,
Yeah.
I was about to say, not Renard, Cerulean would have known it was divination magic at least. Not fake stuff.
Actually, that's a good point. Since Cerulean had detect magic up, did he notice illusory magic on them?
Oh,
He would have. That's true.
oh, good call.
So we do know that they are illusory. That is a very important piece of information, Miss DM. Thank you for
Sorry,
revealing that
forgot.
to us.
Sorry, forgot.
That's a good point.
Sometimes it's on players to ask these questions and keep on the ball.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was almost missed.
Yeah, Cerulean would then, I guess, say that. I say, now that you mentioned it, the guards and the hooded one, they did have some sort of illusory magic on them.
So this is going to be a bit of a retcon then, because I have to ask a very important question for Reynard. When I cast Detect Magic earlier in the city, when we were riding the train with all the guards escorting us to the House of Nobles,
Normal.
none of them had any illusion on them. Okay,
None of them had any illusion on them.
good to
Not
know.
everyone yet.
So
So
that
it's not
means that
everyone.
if they had no magic on them, at the very least, we know for certain they were not enchanted. They did not have disguises. They were acting according to what they were being told to do.
Yep.
Which means they are likely on the up and up. We got people we can trust, guys.
Or-
That's good.
Or their people in disguise are telling them what to do.
Yeah.
But they think they're acting normally, which is very important distinction.
They think they're acting normally. Yes.
So, who exactly did those knights belong to? A specific house, or they?
Weren't they just regular guards? I didn't see any markings.
They weren't regular guards. They were knights. That's different.
I meant city guards.
The magic one was different.
He was part of that group that took Cerulean's grandfather.
Shit.
Oh no.
I think the thing that we are quickly going to learn here is that they have infiltrated Mostera. I don't think the entire organization has been taken over. I think this is a matter of they are infusing themselves in very key places to keep control where they can.
Well,
It would make sense we'd see more of them at night.
this is going to
Easy
maybe
to
be.
hide.
You're right. This is maybe going to be awkward, but Cerulean, your father didn't have any. Your grandfather, I mean, he wasn't a key figure or anything, right?
From what I remember, what exactly was his role in just Marcera in general?
He was a conservatory teacher at one point, but he was not a Lord Temporal and had no voting power or politics.
Okay.
He had his own special mission that only Cerulean is aware of.
You can see Core flipping through the book from Nikolai Goodman before she stops and goes, here it is. The Silent Dock has an elite unit called the Black Hand and the Atrathor. So I would assume these fellows are the elite units of the Silent Dock currently occupying the city.
Over the table question, did Renard share it, or would we have heard his sister's comments about their father working a lot?
That was at dinner.
Was it dinner?
Yeah, that was. She said that to all of you.
And she leaned in to whisper it to you, so I don't know if we would have been privy to it.
Just to make sure, Beth, that we're thinking of the same thing. It's the one that I mentioned in the.
It has to deal. It has to deal with your patron.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure.
I was. Go ahead. We were talking about something different at that point.
Sorry, ignore me. I'm trying desperately to look at my notes and find what the hell is the name of the Archmage of Enchantment, the guy who is basically the attendant to the Queen Regent right now.
Okay.
Balthasar Partiger.
Balthazar Partiger. Yeah, I could not find that in any of the notes, and I'm like, where is that fucking information? So, based on what Cerulean's revealed that, or did he reveal that his grandfather used to teach at the conservatory?
He'd mentioned that. He would say he used to be a teacher at the conservatory a while back.
Based on that information and how old I know half elves to get, and actually, Renard will make a history check about this too. Did Cerulean's grandfather precede Balthazar?
He's an elf. Yeah, he's older than him. Yeah.
I think as the whatever it is.
So,
as the Archmage of Enchantment.
Yes.
No.
And
So,
his grandfather was also a high elf.
Yeah, because Renard will explain his line of thought basically being there. Did he teach Balthazar? Would he know a lot of Balthazar's techniques and abilities? Would
Yes.
it be important for him to disappear?
Maybe. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Anyone
Are you
Anyone
saying
who-
someone?
Oh, I assume we're all brainstorming.
Yeah, like we're in the war room, guys. This is
Yeah.
theoretically absolutely safe for us to discuss.
So my worry is enchantment has to deal with taking over people's minds and making them do things.
More often than not, yes.
He
If-
was also doing other things.
Well,
Right, but
it's
your grandfather is skilled in either recognizing or dealing with those mind-altering effects.
yes.
If
A few moments later, there is a.
Oh, was it midnight? Oh, damn.
And it takes that long to get here and talk. Shit. Okay. The plot's knocking.
Do we-
Was that her
so,
name?
Obviously. Do
23.
we... Go ahead.
23 will open the door.
Okay, guess we let her in.
Well, you can see Bertram isn't there, and next to him is the little girl. Sorry, she said she had an appointment with you.
Yep.
Yeah, something like that.
I think you should see her, Reynard.
Come
And
on,
he kinda
Ian.
nods his head.
Bring her in.
Do you mean
And he will let her in, and
Step
he will step
inside.
back. He will step back.
okay?
I think this is something you all need to hear.
She just told you. What?
Trust.
I will close the door and thank Bertram.
Okay. She
While he's
will-
doing that, I want to ask her, is detect magic still up?
I'd say
Fine.
no.
It's a 10-minute spell.
Okay. I am going to. No, I'm not going to go ahead and do that. Fuck. I
I
already
think
used my
I-
once a day detect magic. I don't
I-
have access to it like Cerulean does.
I think I have it. Hold on. If we... Give me
I'll
a
do it.
second.
Renard will just look at Bertram and says, "Are you feeling all right?"
I'm fine.
Inside check.
No, he's just, hey, oh, yeah, sure. Go for it.
Actually, I have detect magic.
He looks concerned, but otherwise fine.
We just established a lot of people are starting to act in a way they don't normally do, and I'm like, everybody's fucking charmed. Everybody in the city's charmed.
Yeah, I've...
That is thinking of that is definitely worrying.
And
I-
eventually she will say, I can explain.
Still casting detect magic.
Well,
Is
this
the
a
door
good
closed?
time to do it. Yeah, he will
Yeah, I
close
closed
the
it.
door.
She takes her mask off. And revealed,
Oh, shit! Well, things just got interesting.
Roman has no reaction because he doesn't know who she is.
Cerulean
I don't-
does give like a very surprised look.
Michael
Just
figured
slow
out this.
blink.
My
Who is she?
lady.
Now, who is it? You're
That
No!
it's fine.
She's not royalty, is she?
Who is this?
she's
Everyone?
she's the royalty.
This is the Queen Regent of the Empire of Reichfeld.
Well, princess right now, not queen yet.
Oh,
This-
well,
this-
Your Majesty, welcome aboard the Dawn Runner.
This day's been hell.
Renard made a mistake because that's what Renard's father said earlier.
Yeah.
So that mistake is not on me.
I am Tyria Reichfell. It's nice to finally meet all of you.
Likewise.
It is an honor.
What?
It is not easy to explain what has been going on, but I think you all have the general gist of the environment of my city.
Yes.
For lack of a better term, it's a bomb waiting to go off.
Yes. I have no power to stop it, and I fear for my life.
I just have to ask this. If you're turning to us, your mother? I don't actually know much about the... Michael doesn't know
Yeah,
much.
her parents are dead. Her parents are gone.
Okay, just checking. So who's, in charge?
The House of Nobles. And it's Baltazar and Tatiana Talikov are the current.
Gotcha. Gotcha. In that case, I'll just be like,
They're co-regents.
I'll just be like, I assume the House of Nobles is compromised.
I don't know the full extent, but Balthazar gave me this lens and told me to keep it safe and try to find enemies where I could. The following day, another me appeared.
Oh.
Another you.
Yes.
I assume illusion magic of some description based on our conversations.
Is this you currently posing as you, or?
They don't see me much. But yes, when she makes public appearances.
They're hiding in their offices.
This has been 3 months ago.
Is this other you in to protect you?
No, I don't know who it is. I've looked at my lens and it looks just like me.
That's concerning.
Maybe not an illusion, and maybe something a bit more permanently altering.
Hmm.
Even if we scan people with the lens, it might still not be them.
Was there any sort of... You used the lens, was there anything? Like, any light, anything?
No.
That's absolutely awful.
Well, let's get down to it. You came here for a reason.
Mm.
More than just ask for help.
I wanted to give a sense of gravity to the situation. The city has been infiltrated from top to bottom. I do not know who to trust, or who is working for or what against. I do know that it is the Silent Dock. It's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that could happen so quickly and so efficiently. I do not know what they are after, but I have a suspicion you are among them.
I've come into some information about the Silent Dock that might shed some light on this situation. They seem to hold magic superiority above all, which may be why mages are being killed, for they are not either aiding the Silent Dock or not judged powerful enough or pure enough. That would be my guess in regards to the murders. As for the Silent Dock's presence here, is there magic to be gained as they seek power above all else?
We have a few very potent magical items, some of which used to belong to the Dawn Spire.
Could be why they are here.
There's also a long-standing hatred of our city between us and them.
Hmm.
But their rivalry was against the Dawn Spire, and the Dawn Spire are gone.
And
But I do know
yes.
that they have been watching you intently. Not you specifically, Core, but all of you.
How do you know that?
I have been
Sit-
following you, and following those who follow you.
In fairness, Renard, this entire city was ready for our coming. We did some
They-
interesting things. Go ahead.
They know you were coming. They know your strengths and weaknesses. I think they're targeting you and your support bases, not the city itself.
Curious.
Hey,
So,
okay, yeah.
go ahead.
No, sorry, I actually didn't mean to be.
So, is every bloody, boring, and belligerent guard we run across one of them? Is that
I don't
the
think so,
impression
no.
I'm getting? Okay.
No. I don't know how many. I have done my scouting where I can, and I've counted at least 36 total. Of those creatures. I don't know what those are, but they are there.
You say our bases. They seem to have targeted Sarcerulean, his family, or
The Nightfall, the organization that you represent, has been targeted. Cerulean, your family has been targeted. Reynard, your family has been targeted. Ostracized, isolated.
That would explain a lot.
Cut the city off from its rings and then destroy it from within.
You're out scouting and looking around at what they're doing and here with us. I mean, are they not keeping tabs on you, or do they just assume you're already dead?
I don't know. I have no doubt they are looking for me.
Are you safe? Do you need to stay somewhere
I'm
here?
I have a safe location.
You should stay far away from us if they're watching us.
Of course, I'm just worried.
Well, this is a fine situation here.
Do you have any idea why it's now popped up twice that he'll gesture to Renard and Cerulean? Both their families seem to have a trend of the mother being left alone to deal with the house while the father's long hours.
She'll shake her head. I don't.
When you say Nightfall has been targeted, particular people, just the organization?
The slander itself. Nightfall, I've heard of them the years I was here. They're not nicest of people, I will give them that, but
No.
this murder spree? No.
It's unlike them.
But they were the easy scapegoat.
I assumed that.
Is there any notable people that you know are not who they say they are? That you can think of? Yes, anyone. Anyone in the House of Nobles, anyone at all. Besides just the knights and mages of...
I can't say for certain. A lot of them have started several months ago to change. I thought it was attempting to usurp my power. By the time I realized what was going on, it was too late.
I'm gonna look subtly look at Cerulean, and I'm just gonna be like, do we know what happens to the ones who've been replaced?
No.
I'll go over and kind of put a hand on Cerulean's shoulder.
I have thoughts of why. Do you know an exact reason why my grandfather was targeted specifically? It seems just convenient.
I think she just said. Oh, go ahead.
I think that they are inciting between each other. The more they can destabilize the morale of the populace, the easier it will be for them. They arrange a killing of a human, and in turn they arrange a killing of an elf. It goes back and forth until that is all the people see between each other is mistrust and hatred. Sowing the seeds of discord with every passing day.
And Cerulean, they knew we were on our way here.
Had he gone missing at any point before we arrived here?
I don't know. I only learned of his death this afternoon. About the time you did.
And how long ago did you say this all started?
8 months to a year ago. That's when it started. It started small. Tiny little changes here or there.
Renard, were any of your family members acting different?
I was curious to see my father listening to my mother's consultations. He's, as you may have noticed, as an individual, he has always been a strong-willed and family man. But I don't want to say that he married out of propriety and not love, but it's not as if the man hates what I consider my mother, but I have never seen him give much heed to anyone else's opinion or thoughts, ever. But the mere fact that she spoke to him and he decided something, that was odd to me.
Thing he said right after your mother spoke to him was recommending us getting in good with one of those 3 groups.
Are we? What good would that serve?
Keeping tabs on us.
Yes, but it seems as though they've already targeted Nightfall for certain. What about the other 2?
3.
3, I'm sorry.
Well,
Not
City
affiliated.
Watch is clearly already infiltrated if knights are being placed.
We can't trust them.
The Thieves Guild. It's strange to say that I feel like if anyone was to know if any one of the members would be replaced with be a member of their own, they tend to work very closely together. They know to settle differences and changes.
Well, and I know I'm going to sound biased here, but if they're targeting Nightfall, then obviously they have reasons to work against them.
Well, let's not forget the last organization is the Sightless Eye.
Of course.
And of all 4 of the organizations, I want to point out that of them, only one of them was made to work against the Silent Dark in the absence of the Dawn Spire.
And if they're aware of that, they may have tried to infiltrate them. It's hard to say. Any of them could have been compromised.
I think we should make an effort to see if we can't find the Silent Eye in the city and make contact with them.
His name is Talric Greydawn.
Oh,
Motherfucker.
I thought he was in Bailiwick.
right.
No, when we were there last time, they said that he made his way to.
He did go to Martha. Okay.
That's
he was in
right.
Missouri.
That did happen. So
So
Renard and
yeah,
I
didn't
met
he?
him, yeah.
You didn't like him for some reason.
Gee, me? Tempest? No.
Sightless Eye are dicks. Like they might have good mentality, but they do not carry themselves with the decorum that Renard's expects of people doing good. Damn it!
So imagine like playing a really nice character with low charisma.
So
Is this Roman's first time hearing of the Sightless Eye? Because I feel like every time you went to talk to them, you guys went alone.
I'm not sure Roman has heard of them, but I don't think you ever met any of them directly.
No,
That's a
so
good
it's
question because I think
shocking.
only Tempest and I have actually met them.
because originally it was just me, and then you came the second time. Yeah, it's just the 2 of us. We've not shared that.
Well, no, the first time is shit. The
That
first
rat
time,
place.
yeah, it was at the Rat. I was trying to remember because I remember the
Yeah.
time I was going to go back there and turn in the book. You followed me, and that's like I realized you were also following me. It's like whatever, just fucking go in there, but don't let him in. And that was
Anyway.
the whole debacle.
Hmm.
The,
Yeah, it
no,
was
the
a
first
whole-
time was we both got called there because Ruby wanted to meet with us.
I was gonna say, like, I went there for a reason. Like, I didn't just
Yeah.
follow you.
Ruby
Anyway.
wanted
Well,
to
then.
meet with us.
Roman would ask, enlighten me who these sightless people are.
Information knowledge transfer.
Lore dump, if you will.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm doing that. Lore dump. Now you know.
Now, you now know what the Sightless Eye are.
Yeah,
I know Kung Fu.
as they were
Look,
explaining
Neo,
that,
calm down.
Renard will actually. God, I can't believe we're okay. Sure, Renard will reach into one of his side pouches and pull out a familiar-looking vial of blood that immediately Tempest would recognize. Obviously, Tempest would
What?
recognize it.
I thought you gave that back.
She gave it back to me.
That's right. That did happen.
Underneath the Alakim Arcanum, underneath the Conservatory of the Arcane, are vaults of these, where the blood of mages are stored, so that they can be tracked. In the history of the Conservatory's existence, no one has ever managed to get their hands on it, except for the Sightless Eye.
Roman, not Roman, sorry. Renard, do you have your blood down there?
I would have to presume so.
And if they're targeting mages, what better way to hunt them down than to have their blood to track them down?
I'll point out that, and to look at Roman and Tempest, your bloods are down
Yes.
there now as well. And I have to
We
assume
can-
Cerulean's are as well, because he attended the conservatory.
We can't let that stand, can we?
If we use magic in the city, they will know when and where and what we're doing.
I used magic right before talking to your father.
And I'm sure they're aware of that.
So we need to find the sightless eye and get your vials of blood back.
I think at the very least we need them for that.
Let's
It's
hope
a
that we
place
actually.
to start.
Let's at least hope that we actually gave our blood to the right people and not just directly to the Silent Dark.
Even considering getting our blood, though, we'd have to go through the entirety of the conservatory and all of the safeguards that it entails towards that. That's probably one of the most guarded places in Marcera.
Hence why I brought up the Sightless Eye have successfully done it before.
DM, I have a question quickly. For my racial ability to use levitate, that's not considered magic, is it?
It ain't spellcasting.
Never mind.
It's still risky no matter which way we look at it. It's
It's risky. Look at the situation we're in.
I understand that, but I don't know.
It's something we should consider thinking about.
We need to think. Go ahead.
I'm just going to say, any of us who can cast spells, we need to be very aware of this. Like, if you're going to sneak in somewhere, don't cast magic.
As our dear princess has already told us, they're keeping tabs on us anyways. Odds are they don't need this to track us. But
We don't need to give them any help, though.
if this is something that we can get done, especially if the Sightless Eye is willing to do it if we do work for them, that would be a huge boon for us. Regardless of how I feel about them, I feel like that is the choice.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Are you okay?
allergies probably. I have the same thing.
Holy shit! 10,
The cat is not
11, 12,
13.
15. Wow!
Achoo.
I hate you. Stop.
Holy
How
cow!
are you not dead?
You all right there, man?
14.
14.
How does it count? Leave me alone.
That was the cat hair that got hung in the absolute worst place.
You
Holy
good?
crap!
I'm cool.
All right.
Keep going.
Where were we?
Cerulean will ask this because he's actually been thinking about it. So, you said that you could not tell the difference between the doppelganger and yourself.
I don't know what the doppelganger.
No, I meant it's a doppelganger of yourself, as if like it's an exact copy, doppelganger.
I could not know.
And I'm assuming if there have been people that have been replaced, such as that, there's no way of telling besides mannerisms and the like.
I don't know for sure.
Could hit them a bunch.
I
I don't know if
That-
it's a doppelganger or if it's some truly powerful illusion magic that my eye cannot see through. Or clones, or I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I think we need to meet this sightless group and help them out.
Did you get a particularly close look at any of these individuals that have been replaced?
I try to avoid them if I can. No closer
you-
than I was with them today.
And how close were we before?
30, 40 feet.
Huh. I feel like I'm gonna rely on our Arcana check to see how much information I get about this. So, based on what he knows about this and the fact that there was no magical presence about it, how convincing at that range could, say, a golem of flesh be?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay. That's a 30.
Holy shit. As you are perusing thoughts, ideas, possibilities of that magical inclination that might fool the standard schools, a thought occurs to you. If they are using a school of magic that falls outside the current curriculum, what's something that most people aren't used to seeing, something that can control others, and then it thoughts occurs to you, hemomancy, blood magic.
And that school of magic does not appear in Detect Magic, does it?
Does not.
Because
And not even true sight?
well, it's not creating an illusion; it's creating something real.
Oh, okay.
So true sight doesn't see magic; it sees through illusions.
Fair. Just asking questions.
It'd be like looking at static. If you were looking at it with detect magic, it just wouldn't register as there would be a magical presence, but it would not be one that you could identify.
Then was there one when we were meeting with Genevieve? Because Cerulean did cast Detect Magic there to detect the magic on the webbing.
Not on her, no.
Okay. So Reynard will relay that as in there might actually be hope that Genevieve has not been replaced.
But that still means that she's upset with me.
It may be that someone else is controlling the scenes. Not Sean, Cerulean.
Who?
Yeah, sorry. Your picture picked up. I read your name.
Also, Cerulean, I mean, right now, worst case scenario, or best case scenario, your mother's mad at you. Worst case scenario, she's not who she says she is, and
if we're taking all this into consideration, realistically, if there's anyone that they would want from my family, it would be my father.
Which I think may have
Who
already.
is busy and working and not spending any time at home.
And
Cerulean-
then
Go ahead.
there's the whole thing where my aunt is missing. I don't exactly know how or why.
Do you think it's possible your aunt maybe figured this out, and maybe your mom has suspicions, which is why she doesn't want you around?
It's possible. I can only assume, even maybe, my grandfather knew something and he didn't agree or fought back or something. I don't know.
You did say it seemed odd for your mother to be that upset. Music goes bye-bye.
Okay.
Oh no! Why are we playing Genova?
Not Genova.
I do find it strange she told you not to come to the house. Like, that doesn't seem correct in my opinion.
Cerulean, I said it earlier, I'm still going to say it. Are you sure we don't need to check in on her?
He definitely looks like torn.
Cerulean, I'm going to put it this way. Worst comes to worst, if she's just mad at you and you just arrive, she's just going to be more mad. Other way around, might be a good thing if we're there.
If they're following us and they follow us back to my home and they know and they realize what we're doing, they could make things worse.
So talk to your mother like you're just worried about a woman who, as you would worry about your mother who just lost someone and was put through that.
If she wants
To
to,
make-
only, I do have a
Oh.
spell called Sending. I could send her a message that she could secretly respond to. If
If
she
she-
really wanted to make her true intentions known. That is, if you assume that this situation is trustworthy. She was not magical, so I doubt she's been replaced. But there are several unknowns here, and it is a risk.
Cyril's trying to remember, can sending be intercepted?
So,
I don't believe so.
yeah, I don't think so.
Cast
Okay.
a spell in the city. They know we did it.
We're
Till
in
then,
a
we're in our- yeah.
Unless it was cast on the ship where divination magic cannot.
Well, how would sending get through?
Sending is
He'd have to
evocation.
leave.
Sending is an evocation spell. It is not divination.
yeah, it's weird.
Why?
So they can't detect that I'm casting it, but I can cast it through.
Why is
Thank you, loopholes.
why is it evocation? That makes no sense.
Well, it is what it is.
There's fire.
Oh, that's
Is
that
it-
is that's a bit of a shame that the divination. I had an idea. I just had an
Well,
idea.
Do you want a message to go through?
I do. My idea was this is out of character. I was gonna try to ritual cast divination and ask a question, but
You can do that. You just can't be on the ship.
exactly. But if I do that, then they'll know that I cast a spell. So
Ah.
Yeah,
I
I can't cast
can't-
augury.
that's the big issue. So it's fine. Yeah, if you offer that, Cerulean would say, if that's not too big of an issue.
I would be happy to try.
He's thinking it's 25 words,
Actually,
right?
I do want to ask for a clarification there, GM. So this magic of private sanctum does specifically say that divination spells can't cross over. Does that mean that divination inside of it would not work?
You can cast a spell, but it can't go through the barrier, just like a tiny hut.
So let's see here. Because the specific prevention of divination is sensors created by divination spells can't appear inside the protected area or pass through, and creatures in the area can't be targeted by them. It doesn't prevent divination from passing through if it's like another spell. That's a you ruling though.
I'm not feeling that one.
I can kind of see the logic. If it feels weird, if it can go out but not in.
Yeah.
There's a different spell for that one.
That's true.
Write a message, 25 words or less, and I will send it to her at the earliest convenience. I could do it right now if you wanted.
As much as she probably doesn't want to hear from me right now, I still would just to let her know at least.
I've been thinking that maybe she told you to go away to protect you.
Yes, exactly. It seemed so odd.
But if she were to respond to the sending, would that still be her casting the spell, or would that just be part of the spell that you cast?
So she can respond to me as a part of the casting of my spell.
So it would still come back to you.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. He thinks for a second. He'll take out his journal and he'll tear out a page and he'll say, "Just give me 1 sec, because out of character I gotta write a message. Just keep just continue on. I'll be listening." And he'll lean his head down and start writing.
At this point, Tyria will then bow her head. I'm afraid I've overstayed my welcome.
Of course.
We do have
Should-
a habit of talking. I apologize.
There's a lot to, as your friend said, unpack here.
If we need to get a hold of you for whatever reason,
I'll find you.
Yeah,
very well.
best we don't know.
And
Yes.
it is good to see that you are relatively okay, my lady.
Yes, do take care of yourself. Stay safe.
She'll put her mask back on, and she'll walk out the door.
Oh.
So she walks to the door, she realizes she can't open it, and then Reynard will walk over and open the door for her. Because the door will not open for her.
Thanks.
Celia and Amael guide you.
Cerulean will just say, "Do I just ask her if she was sending me away to not for me to get involved in anything.
Might be a good start.
What'd you say, by the way, Lake?
I said that's up to you. If you want to ask if there's something you should know, if she's just trying to protect you, or if you want to just apologize and say that you're sorry for everything.
It's probably best to use, at least to start, a light hand with this. Try and fish out some information without
Fish out some what?
revealing what we know already.
I mean, you could just straight up ask her, is she safe?
He gets an idea and he goes to writing.
All right. Well, other news. I kind of kept this one. Core, and Renat, I'm going to need your help on this one. What can you, well, Renat specifically, also Cerulean, what can you tell me about the Ristoke family?
What can I tell him about the Resto family?
That's a good question.
The Rustoke family, so I bring up my notes, is currently led by a lady called Ayanya, and she is the Lord High Prosecutor of the House of Nobles, essentially the top lawyer. They have been in the family been in the House of Nobles for 200 plus years, and they are based out of a hamlet not terribly far away called Witch's Swoop, but they have an estate inside the city.
Sounds
Core
like
knows a little bit more.
place.
Core has different information.
I was a servant to the Rostock family way back in the day before I was sold to Celia Lanth. I believe I told you a story about how I was not so intelligent. I did my job well, but my job was not complicated, and everything seemed fine. I only really came into myself after I met Celia, which I have more information about, I can tell you later, is really not relevant at this moment.
That's all I need to know for now.
Okay.
How's your message coming through, Leon?
It is very hard to try to put everything into 25 words.
Start with the basics.
Well, so right now we have find Talric Greydon. Get your blood vials back.
Like you do.
We
should
do.
definitely make sure that we make contact with all of the organizations in the city.
Yes.
My father, regardless of how he feels, he would not have brought up all of them if they were all not a point of interest.
I will work on Nightfall. I have, obviously, the contacts.
We should also be very careful that we don't separate, otherwise we will be very easy targets to pick off.
I assume at the very least Roman can help me.
Keep in mind who we're dealing with here.
Yeah, that's what's got me worried.
If they sense that we're gonna be a problem, they might increase, and he'll make air quotes at this, interruptions.
I'm well aware. I'm just also aware that Roman and I are probably the only ones who can get around quietly without magic.
It'll be a bit tougher without my magic, given and he'll kind of gesture to his rainbow hair. It's like, I don't exactly blend in anymore.
Reinhard will look at 23. You're right, we're going to have a lot of trouble.
I was about to say, I'm going to be like, and look at 23.
So I might have something. I'm not sure if this is the right thing, but it's something. He will then read, "I love you, Mother, and I am sorry for today. I've heard much of what's happened here, and I must ask, are you safe?"
And how many words is that?
25. I did that in a Word doc.
So that's going to be really awkward when it's not you sending the spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
So Raynor just sends a message to Cerulean's mother. I love
Cerulean.
you all.
Sorry, wrong number.
Can you lose 2 and say from Cerulean?
I probably can.
Or you could send a pre-sending.
Incoming message from Cerulean. Cast.
Oh, actually, you know what? Hold on. I have an idea. Okay, nailed it. I just abbreviated some words. From Cerulean, I love you, Mother. I am sorry for today. I've heard much of what's happened here, and I must ask, are you safe?
Okay. I will double check to make sure Cerulean's okay with that, and as we work up the wording, I will send that off to his mother as he wrote it.
A few moments pass before a clear voice comes through. It is not safe. I am being watched. I miss you, but stay away. It is not safe.
Reynard will relay that.
Shit.
He will nod slowly.
This means that she may be in danger, Cerulean, but at the very least you know she's still her. Danger, in a strange way, means that she's still safe from what we know. In a weird way.
I would be more worried about your father. I don't know if we could trust him.
He's at work from what she said. He's at work now most of the time.
That would be why I'm worried.
Is your father rather insightful? Has he ever been a clever man?
He's very good at reading people. Anyone tells him even a little bit of a lie, he can tell from just the slightest facial twitch. He's very good at what he does.
Adds plus 15 to insight score.
Then it's possible your father has caught wind of this and is staying away from your mother to keep her safe as well. Trying to keep her from being a bargaining chip.
That would be good. That'd be the good option.
And if your aunt has disappeared, it's possible they all know. And they're being very careful themselves.
I don't know where she would go. Cerulean will think, is there anywhere he can think of where his aunt would fall back to?
Ellen is always, at least as far as you know her, has always been an upstanding, upright citizen.
Which obviously means on the down low, she was complete and total distrustful.
Oh yeah, no, she was
working for the bad guy.
She was also scrappy.
Oh yeah.
Loud, proud, and loved to please a crowd. So
Mhm.
it's hard to imagine where she couldn't fit in. She's also really good looking. For an elf.
I've seen the picture. Yeah.
She hot.
That's your aunt, man.
Hey.
Cerulean's thinking, yeah, but he's not expecting anything. He's gonna ask in his head, just in case. Should I emphasize what Cedric was doing?
Who are you asking that to?
My patron.
You're in a place that nothing can get through. Your
Oh,
patron
fuck,
can't
you're
do
right.
I was gonna say, is like,
We just
does
did
he get
this.
a? I'm sorry, but in order to make a call, you must hang up and try again.
The patron you are dialing is currently busy.
You know, this is really good for villains and not saying what we're doing, but now it's really bad for us when we need information now.
Guys, if depending on how this goes, this safe haven may be more worth its weight in literal gold to us by the end of this.
It's true.
Yeah.
Already
I mean,
paying
you can
off.
go out onto the deck later.
Oh no, the entire ship is protected.
I gotta get off the ship
I
to actually do
protected
it.
the entire ship. You would have to leave the Dawn Rudder basically out onto the docks to be able to do it.
You just see Cerulean like halfway on the gangplank, just like surfer style, just like.
I mean, if you really wanted to, we could take the ship out to sea for a bit, and we could row you out on one of the keel boats.
That they suspect something. It's fine.
Or we could just fly out. Or we could just take a keel boat out regardless. I mean, we could leave city limits. They're going to know regardless, but...
Yeah. Roman looks just actively just uncomfortable right now, and he's just... I wouldn't recommend going out to sea around here.
Why not?
You don't believe those rumors about sharks, do you?
They're just rumors.
Not just the shark thing is its own thing, but I happened to hear when we were in here the mention of piracy in the area.
Pirates.
Wow. Would they happen to be people you know, Roman?
Oh no, I happen to be a pirate, and I stole. And he'll look at 23. Something very expensive from them, and I'm sure they are fine with it.
I don't need an inside check for that.
To be fair, if what the state of things around here, it wouldn't be a surprise if the rate of piracy went up, especially with the other side of the city being completely cut off.
Well, I assume the Thieves Guild has probably been more active as well.
I just bring it up because I don't want to chance it. Everyone knows whose ship this is, and if it's just sitting out at sea, it's an open invitation.
Roman, if people know you're part of the crew, are we going to have issues?
To be honest, I don't know.
But he's a pirate ready for that battle.
I'm just assuming it's going to come. I've just been glad we've been up north and very far from the sea. I kind of expected it in Darrow Shore. Well, right after it happened.
Right.
What? You're not that
You
curious
know-
kid.
There isn't any guardhouses that separate the harbor from Cheapside.
What are you saying?
I'm saying if we wanted to get over into the lower district of the city really badly, we could get into Cheapside without too much difficulty, I imagine.
Everyone.
Just by rowing over there.
I see what you're saying. We could do that fairly easily. Surely there's guards, though.
For the main gates, yes. I would be hard-pressed to see them warranting that for the exterior to Cheapside.
The beaches there are relatively empty.
And I was thinking, there is a spell in one of my books called Arcane Eye. I wouldn't be able to cast it on the ship, of course, but if we were to make our way outside of the border of the boat, I could send an eye over there and scout it for us.
They would immediately know you did that, though.
They would know that I've cast a spell called Arcane Eye. They would not know what I was doing with it, presumably.
Go ahead.
And once I cast it, I'm fairly certain I could just walk back inside the barrier.
Right.
I would love to get over to Cheapside. I could find out a little bit more about Nightfall over there.
We need information. And this is the information. I'm sorry, Vitaly.
Just go ahead.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. I just need to get to the lower markets compared to everything we've dealt with. I think it can take them at least a bit of a back burner, and I don't think I'm anxious to go see people I haven't seen in years. And
Fortunately, I'm familiar with Warwick, who apparently is a key player here.
Though, as I think about it, my father did say speaking with the City Watch to see if we couldn't just get permission to go where we wanted would be probably the smartest thing to do to start. If we could just get permission to go where we want, that would save us a lot of trouble.
I mean,
Okay.
I was just going to say, I don't disagree, but if I'm totally honest, Renard, I don't trust your father right now.
It's not a bad idea.
Go ahead, Zerly.
And if we start sneaking off and they notice, then it's only a matter of time before they start throwing questions at us.
The more attention we draw to ourselves, the harder it's going to be to do things. The more secretive we're going to be. If we're not good at it, the better they're going to be at finding us.
In that case, wouldn't it be best to do this now before we're under a lot of scrutiny?
We're already
I'd
under
say
a lot of scrutiny.
This is going to bring even more scrutiny onto us.
It's going to get worse, though.
It's going to get worse regardless.
Exactly
Which is
my
why
point.
I'm saying if we make it look like we are working for the city officially, it may draw attention to us, but at the very least, moving around the city won't draw attention to us.
Yes,
Oh,
but
so
then
we
they...
could publicly announce we're going to solve the problems of the city and work with the gods closely without actually telling them what's happening, and we can keep eyes on them that way.
I love that.
That's great, but you know what? That doesn't actually do anything against us that wouldn't already be done against us. So sure, if we wanted to.
We might be
love
able to
it.
get in good with something.
Or take a level of inspiration.
Oh,
That was beautiful.
nice. I love
What if we-
inspiration.
What did we start with Marshal Cromwell? He seemed frustrated that things weren't going out well, and he seemed upright enough. I'm sure he'd be willing to, if we could promise to help him solve this murder, he would be willing to help us.
Renard, I just had a thought.
That's
Yeah.
the
That
shiver I felt.
that
up my
message
spine.
spell. What?
What? So that's the shiver I felt up my spine. Sorry.
It's like, oh no, a player has done a thing. Renard, that sending spell of yours.
Mm,
Do you need to
Yeah.
know the person, or can I just tell you who it is? Describe them.
I would need to have at least met the person.
That's not
Hence
true.
the point of no sending specific says you have to have met the person before.
I think you can just get a description.
I will double check my own spell. Give me one moment.
With which
To a
you
creature
are
with who you are familiar, yes. So I would say I need to at least have met them once.
I would actually argue you can go off a description if it was given in enough detail.
I
As in
could give you
firsthand.
detail. Yeah. I could be like, if I described Warwick to you, could you get a message to him similar to Cerulean's mother?
Potentially.
I'm
Though it
gonna
might be
start.
strange just sending a message to a person who I don't know.
I can do the same thing, say from Tempest to. It should at least somewhat work.
Just keep in mind, if you're sending a message we have not had a chance to investigate, they may already be compromised.
I'm well aware of that. I won't say anything that isn't.
That is a big risk too. Is that if we send messages to people that we don't know if are replaced or not, we just be giving them what we're doing.
I have a
Oh.
question. I'm not terribly familiar with blood magic, but is it possible to hide or change your blood in order to dodge it for a time?
Reynard just looks at you like. That is the extent of what he knows about blood magic. Is in this
Yeah.
vial. Is what he knows about blood magic.
Okay. Well, it's just a thought, really. I don't know if we changed it. I don't have blood. You'll have to forgive me.
Well, luckily, Cole, you don't have blood, so you won't be trapped in the city.
This is true.
Could probably move around without too much difficulty.
I don't have a spell scroll of anything that would be able to help with that. We should look into that. You know, Cole, you may be able to help us out far more than we could even ever considered. If you could cast magic that is not going to face scrutiny of the Arcanum, then we could use you to potentially seek into a lot of things. If we could get spell scrolls that you could get your hands on, then there's no limit to what we could potentially use you for. I apologize. I sound like I'm using you as your tool, but I do not mean it in that way, of course.
I feel like I'm not the stealthiest person. I could remove my armor and that would reduce some of the noise, but if we had some way to make me...
I meant
Move.
more if we wanted to cast, say, magic to let us scry on a part of the city, or magic to send messages when we can't be divined on, then you could do that without making them aware that we're doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Necessarily, we wouldn't have to be very difficult. We would just do not be on the Dawn Runner.
That's something to think of. Of course, 23 could come with me as well on these endeavors.
23 could... 23 is crucial to this, obviously.
Yes.
I actually think I know something.
As I look at Connor, who's just like...
Roman's just gonna take a seat, and he's actually gonna take Inari out, and he's gonna be like staring at the mirror in the hilt as he's kind of just like very nervously tapping at it, just unsure.
I actually don't know something. I thought I did, but it's level 3 spell. I will look at Renard and be like, I think I have a message I could send that won't give away any details, if that would be okay with you.
Let's hear the message. I will send one. I can send one more before all this is said and done. But we should really get to sleep, as it's after all past midnight.
Of course. My message. Can I open up WordPad? From Tempest. Found no info on parents. How difficult is it to meet in the western part of the city? Need to discuss recent events.
Reynard, I'll have to use a 4th level spell slot, but Reynard will send that.
Yeah. The parents thing is more of a confirmation it is Tempest, because that's the only reason Warwick would know it's official.
Yeah, I will send that off to the individual who is described to me.
The response is, fuck off.
Reynard just kind of looks over at Tempest. Did you piss this individual off the last time you spoke with him?
What? No. Last time we talked, he helped me get out of the city.
Well,
You turn a bunch
Oh.
of people in.
No.
because all he had to say to you was fuck off.
What?
His words, not mine.
He wouldn't say that.
Remember
Tempest
what?
just-
Remember
yeah.
what the prince. Remember what the princess said. There's a lot going on, and we've been expected, so they're going down every avenue to make everything harder for us. It's quite possible that maybe something was said that was convincing enough, or if there is maybe someone actually in Nightfall that is not who they say they are, they can be spreading false rumors that involve you.
Maybe. If I
About another,
um
sorry, another minute goes by as you all are contemplating that. For inside your head, Tempest. 3 p.m. Cloak and Stagger.
Ah,
I will not let that show on my face. Instead, I will continue with what I was feeling before that, and just I'll be like, I need. I'm going to go to bed. I'm sorry. Good night. And I'll head.
Before Tempest heads out, I'm like, fuck. Hold on. Just keep the doors. I have to. Fuck.
What?
So, just realized that as we've been talking about how much lying we have to do, I feel like I kind of have to get this out here because I feel like going forward, some information should be kept from me. I can't lie anymore.
Wait. What?
Oh.
Why can't you?
That was a very out of character laugh, and I apologize for it because I know
No,
exactly
I
where
know
that's coming
exactly.
from.
How did
So
this
you
come about?
You weren't there yet, but I died in a forest.
Hmm.
And
That could
when
happen.
as you know, my patron is Fae, and I guess, part of my price to pay was I don't think I'm very human anymore.
That's not so bad.
what do you mean?
He'll look at 23. You remember when we were swimming through that swamp? You had to drag me through the boat with the air.
Yes.
I almost passed out when we passed by that dirt.
Yes.
I think that's part of it, but I've tried to lie a couple of times, and the truth just shotguns out of my mouth.
I remember this. After the ordeal that we had together, I asked you several questions, and very invasive questions, and you were extremely forthright.
Yeah, that was right afterwards. I've kind of realized I can skirt the truth. Like, it seems like I just can't directly say something that's not true.
Well,
Seeing how we've just discussed a lot of lying we're going to need to do to people, I feel like you guys should know that before I get pushed in front of someone, because I've got a skill for talking and have to not lie my way through a lie.
Well, I may not look it, and I know I don't sound it often, but I can sometimes be good with my words. Sometimes. Anyway.
I think the important thing here, Roman, is just to keep in mind, you don't have to talk when it wouldn't work out. But thank you for reminding us that that might be an issue.
Yeah, I've bit my tongue a few times just to make sure, or chose my words carefully when speaking.
I understand how you feel. I despise lying. I try my best to never do it, and I've been successful for the most part. And that's why, in most situations that we find ourselves in, where sometimes we do have to lie to someone, I just keep my mouth shut.
Oh, I mean, that's respectable, but I used to love lying, throwing little cons, as you've seen with Tempest and everything I've done with 23 and Kevin. I love a bit of misdirection and, getting one over on somebody, but I physically cannot force a lie out of me.
Good to know. But we really should get to bed. We have an early day getting up early tomorrow. We have to go to the conservatory because I promised a little girl that I would give her a tour of our shop.
You're welcome.
Is it safe for her to be around us right now?
It's safe for anyone.
Appearances.
We also need to keep up the ruse that we suspect nothing crazy unusual is going wrong.
Yes.
That's fair.
So, I hope you all are looking forward to seeing Ceylon again.
I suppose while we're at the conservatory, I can look for my friend.
Yes.
Might as well.
I'm sorry, Beth, over the table, did you say 3 p.m. or 3 a.m.?
3 p.m.
So afternoon, okay.
3 a.m. would be like 2 hours from now.
I'm aware. That's why I was like, do I need to be leaving?
Get swimming.
Start swimming.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't need to go to my room, hide, and then leave. Okay, cool. Anyway, I'm really sorry, all. I need to be alone.
Bernard is going to go off to his room as well.
Okay.
Before you all go, I do want to say thank you for helping me where you could, and I'm sorry that the day went off to a bad start because of it.
You've got nothing to be sorry for, Cerulean. Please.
Really, this is not your fault in the slightest. I'm sorry.
We're just getting started.
Just don't hide any. If it's getting too much, just talk to us.
I will.
Don't let shit well up.
Tempest is gonna look really awkward at that and just keep things hidden.
Okay. And as we all settle in for a long rest, the night passes and turns to day without issue. As you all awaken the next day, what would you like to do? It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning.
So I think, I guess we're having breakfast or something. I don't know. I'm just gonna be like, I'm sorry for my abrupt departure last night, but I think I need to be alone today. I'm going to.
What do you mean?
Look, I can't. I'm just acting very awkward. It's just like, look, hearing that from work was very painful. I need to take some time.
Get it, but don't go far.
It's not like I can exactly.
Yes, just stay in bright places and around lots of people.
I don't know if that's the best idea considering my He'll just like literally motion his entire body.
Well, the alternative is moving in dark places by yourself when there's a mage killer on the loose.
Fine. You're right. Maybe I don't need to. Tempest is just gonna like pound at the table for a second, like,
Just don't go walking down any dark alleys.
no, you're all right. Warwick messaged me back after your fuck off. He wants me to meet him.
Why didn't you just say that?
Honestly, last night I was still a little bit, I don't know, it was confusing. And obviously he doesn't want you to know if he decided to respond that way to Renard. I think I need to make this meeting on my own, at least this one.
We can take you by the time, but we can, if you want to do this alone, that's up to you.
Well, I say that mainly because he obviously wants it to be just me that knows. And it's also a place in the industrial world. It's not like I can get in there right now.
Cheapside.
Cheapside?
Cloak and Daggers in Cheapside.
Oh, we can't actually get
No,
over
it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it
made that
is.
Cheapside is
map.
I'm
absolutely in
sorry.
Cheapside.
I'm so sorry. You're right.
We all look at Zoe, who built the map.
Sorry,
Yes,
you're
our
right.
knowing one.
Sorry, my bad. That doesn't really help me considering I said the west side.
What I worry about is if he wants to, you assume that he wants to do it alone. What if he's not alone, though?
I can go as a mindless construct. There seems to be enough of them in town.
You are. Yes, you're right.
Renard wants to take a good look at 23 and see, like, is this breaking him down? Is this slowly but surely, like, wearing 23's soul down, having to act this way or pretend even that's even a possibility?
That's making me sad.
Aww.
Because Renard doesn't want his, his big buddy to start, losing himself because he has to keep pretending to do these horrible things.
That would be
I
terrible.
never had to do it before. Anyways,
Well, you get what I
come
mean.
back.
He's seeing a
I'll
lot
come
of
back.
this.
I'll wait until there's a moment. But yeah, I guess at that point I'll start brainstorming. Like, if I need to get into Sheepside by 3 o'clock, what do we think is the best option?
Under the water.
Sharks.
Are they really there, though?
I don't know if I'm willing to take that risk, 23.
Or we could sail close enough to where we can get in.
And we're certain that's not going to cause issues.
DM, just out of curiosity, if I were to say cast the spell Fly, could people use that to like skim underneath like the water, where they wouldn't be very visible?
Ooh.
For a while, but it's still a long distance.
I mean, 23 doesn't need to breathe, so
neither does
it's no big deal
Tempest.
for him.
Same.
Actually,
Yeah,
neither does Tempest.
Still, it's a bit of a hike. It takes you, even with fly, it'd take you a direct line. It doesn't go so far.
How far could we get? That's
yeah,
not even a mile.
Fly. No, it's over a mile.
It's over a mile, sorry.
Fly lasts for 10 minutes at 60 feet around, so you could get 6,000 feet. You'd have to swim the rest.
What we could do is we could just sail the ship close enough to where it doesn't look like we're docking. Me and Tempest drop in and we can have our meeting.
That's not the worst idea I've heard, but how do we get back?
We can figure that out later. If we need to get out of the city, then we can, and we can...
I think it's going to be a problem regardless because I don't have room to prepare a fly today. Shit.
Well, I'm saying not even using fly because we can just both just sit under the water and have a swim speed. Just drag them along.
That seems like a hard idea.
Close enough to just drop us off close enough to where we don't have to deal with sharks. Possibly.
Or just take a skimmer.
Or take
I
a
think that's probably the best idea. 23, I think you would probably be the easiest one for me to explain away.
All right. Well, we have a wonderful meeting with a DFD elven lass of ours, and we should get to it early this morning. Before they leave the boat, Reynard is going to cast Mage Armor on himself.
Okay.
And 23 is quickly going to stop by Sertarians.
Okay. Hello, 23.
Good morning.
Thank you for the materials.
I didn't give you to them, but here they are.
I
It's
thought
like
you
you
gave it
knew.
to him. I'm sorry. Oh, I thought you gave it to him. Okay, cool. This will help. And I
Yes.
have a wonderful idea. And he shows up the series of blueprints. It looks like a liger.
I prefer more of the tiger, but
You're a big guy.
I am a big guy. Whatever you think's best.
I'll do my best. If you can get adamantium, that would be wonderful.
Oh, geez, is that enough wire, and how much do you need?
All of it.
Why don't you just get me a good forger and a quote? I'll handle the rest.
Quote from.
Like a smith somewhere who knows how to work adamantine.
All right.
First thing I thought of when you said you're a big guy, I just thought of Bane. For you.
For you.
I'm just picturing like a giant vault of money that's just slowly lowering in time.
And how many pounds? Any idea?
Oh, this thing is probably going to weigh the better off 300 pounds when it's done.
Damn.
All right.
It is going to be the best mount ever.
I am quite.
What's our boat capacity?
That's enough. All right. Well, I will see what I can do.
Okay. Thank you. Back to work. You have no idea what he's working on.
I have a question for Renard before I do this, whatever we're about to do.
Yeah.
If I cast spells, do they know the location or do they just know I've cast a spell?
That's something that I don't actually know. Do I know that, DM?
That is, you are not privy to that information. Now, you do know that the Alakam show up when people cast spells that they are not supposed to.
Yes.
Seems
So-
like they do then.
When and where can be pretty obvious, yes.
All right. Well, I was thinking about casting Enhanceability upon 23 for Charisma. You know, Deception 23. Yeah. So, okay, I won't do that.
Question, DM. He cast Enhanceability when we were going through the manor.
I did.
We never saw any Alakim coming to interrogate us, did we?
You did not.
Nope. I was worried. I was worried about that.
So,
And
Renard,
it's more, you get the impression that those kind of spells are probably pretty common. They're more worried about people casting, I don't know, fireball.
Yeah.
23. If you're going to be lying, if you have to lie, at least let me give you some advantage with it, and I will let you borrow the confidence charm.
Ooh, yes.
I don't know what this does, but I appreciate it.
Clever.
So if you think you're slipping when you're talking to someone, you apparently you'll have a bit of a boost in talking. So it only works once, but I think you might benefit from it if you need to.
Sounds good.
23. Warwick is very good at knowing when people are lying to him, and you're going to have to pretend you're basically a emotionless automaton.
That shouldn't be too hard. I just have to stand there and not speak. My face, if you haven't noticed, doesn't really show a whole lot of emotion.
Yes, but
There's a meme. 23 does not change facial expressions.
You're not wrong, but just to be safe, I think this is not a bad thing for you to have.
I appreciate it. I'll just try to remain quiet.
Yes. Other than that, I think we can be off.
Okay. I will handle your stuff next week, Michael and Tempest and 23.
I assumed that wasn't happening right now. It's kind of
No.
late.
So
Well, regardless, we're all going off to the conservatory to meet our favorite little elven apprentice wizard.
you are.
Oh boy. Now I can take my bathroom
Is it-
break.
Is it pretty late? What?
It's I think we're coming towards the end of the session here.
Getting towards it. Yep. you're
We're
getting
pretty
towards
done. We're pretty
This
close.
is
Okay.
this is when the party splits, and we start a fight with the party split.
Yes.
When we find out
Absolutely.
something terrible
So,
happened.
Making our way back to the conservatory. It only doesn't take you about an hour to get there after all the walking and the papers, please, and all the getting through.
Mhm.
Cool, yeah.
You're gonna go to the guardhouse to the immediate left and ask him that you're asking to find Cylin. And he seems to reach over and look at a list. She is currently in class. It'll be about 10 more minutes.
Can we go get her?
Oh, she'll be there waiting for you. Sure.
Aren't you with me, 23?
I thought we were doing that later.
She's in the Evoker's Hall.
Yeah, you guys don't have to be there till 3 p.m. It's like 8 in the morning.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess that gives you all some time to peruse the wares of the conservatory while we do. And 10 minutes.
Could you see if someone else is in class right now?
Certainly.
Centra Yavel?
Renard will remember that name.
Grenard will remember this.
I mean, he remembers everything for a month, but specifically, he wants to remember this name because it's
She's not a current member. Let me see. What's your relation?
We were friends. She studied at the conservatory when I did. Or when I still do.
According to this registry, she is currently assigned to the Bulwark.
What's the Bulwark?
It's the edge of the Empire, right between Ish and Nord.
What is she doing there? Huh.
Apparently obligated service.
Because obligated service is after you graduate, right?
Mm-hmm.
She graduated.
You're gone for 2 years.
It's true, but depends on. God, I haven't gone longer than I thought.
I'm not letting you meet every NPC in the world. I got to spread them out somewhere to keep other places.
I know. How long has she been over there?
I'm afraid that information is private, sir.
That's fair. That's good for her, though. Good for her. She deserves. She. I'm trying to think of the best words to phrase this out of character. She liked what she did, and I'm glad that she's doing something that'll definitely benefit from practice.
You hear the faint chime of a bell ring as classes end.
Wow, that was 10 minutes.
You're looking through it.
That's 10 minutes of my life.
Unless we're going shopping.
Making your way.
Thank you,
sorry.
by the way. He just says, thank you.
You're at the door. Making your way through the courtyard, Reynard can easily guide you up to the Evoker's Hall. It's up a flight of stairs, essentially. You can see a number of people are coming out. Scyllin is in the crowd, and she seems to be having a conversation with a remarkably beautiful, red-skinned, blonde-haired tiefling. And as she looks at you, or as Scyllin will look at you, "Oh, Reynard!" And she will run up to you and give you a big hug while the tiefling just smiles and watches. "Oh, Miss Tyne! This is them!" And this tiefling will walk up to all of you.
Ooh.
Wow, okay.
"Oh, you must be Reynard, yes?"
That is my name, indeed.
Scyllin talks endlessly about you. It's nice to finally meet you. I am called Temperance, but I think the name is a little much. Tyne will simply do. And she'll bow her head.
Time, sure. You are specifically... You are a teacher? Are you
A student.
mentor?
Yeah, student.
Oh.
From abroad.
How old does she look?
For a tiefling? 20s,
I mean,
30s.
just the best as human. Okay.
Yeah. Mid to late 20s.
And how long have you known little Scyllin?
Oh, just this year. She and I arrived at the same time.
Ah, I see.
Sort of. I was about 3 months later, but you know, get close.
Of course.
Do you enjoy it here?
Oh, it's definitely a different experience than what I'm used to. It's something else, that's for sure. Not too bad, though.
Well,
What's going on?
yes. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day, as Scyllin and I have a little field trip planned, so
Of course. Enjoy your time.
You
And she
as well.
smiles. And Scylla just take your hand. I'll be going to the ship.
We are going to the ship.
Little child squee.
She's so happy.
As Tyne leaves, Roman would probably just lean towards Cerulean so that way Scylla doesn't hear, and just be like, is it normal for someone that like that age gap to come into the conservatory at the same time?
I did.
So it's not just like young kids and then
If magic presents itself, it doesn't matter what age you are. Then you get put in the conservatory and you learn. I mean, if you learn magic and you don't know how to use it, it's dangerous.
I don't know. I just kind of figured it'd be like little kids and then like older kids.
That's fair. And while he's kind of thinking about that, he does sort of like turn his head a little bit to look back over his shoulder towards her. Does she like? Does anything look odd?
You see Renard is absolutely staring daggers at her. I would like to make an investigation check against her, please.
Sure.
I'll just be like, Roman, you learned
16.
magic much later.
I'm just trying to see if there's any like change in her posture, if like she might like a facade dropped when her backs are turned.
Pardon me, I gotta get this correct.
It's like, and I didn't go to school for the magic though. I learned it in this forest.
That's fair, yeah.
True. I mean, I learned mine from my god.
Do I have to roll anything?
You roll investigation against her.
Insight?
Or investigation.
I have a better investigation, I think. Yeah, I definitely do. 4. Nope. Never mind.
Wow.
She smiles politely at you, bows her head. And then she'll walk off.
Renard will just very politely go to leave, and as he's leaving, he will kind of lean in and whisper to 23, because I guess 23 will probably be walking next to her.
23's not there.
23, all right, 23 is not here, so this would be Cerulean or Roman, and he will lean at them and says, so does anyone else find it suspicious that one of our dear friends just made a friend at approximately the same time the silent dog came back?
That's why I looked back. She looked fine, but I did ponder that. It's convenient for sure.
It does just feel very obvious. I feel like they would use someone more subtle, like another child or, a woman with fiendish heritage. Seems a little on the nose.
Cerulean
Casual racism.
I know. Cerulean looks over and Roman's like, just because she's a tiefling doesn't immediately make her bad.
Have you been spending too much time with the humans here, Roman?
No, I'm saying the other way around here. I'm just saying you guys all think she's bad. Wouldn't it make sense if, like I said, if I'm playing bad guy here, I'm gonna put someone that you would trust absolutely, like another just little girl that looks like her.
Wow.
Another halfling.
I didn't even think of that.
You're trying way too hard on that logic.
Roman, I
Dylan.
understand what you're trying to say, and I understand where you're trying to come from, and I'm glad you're saying it to me and Renard, but possibly careful.
You guys think I have something?
No. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying the wrong person could interpret it the wrong way.
My captain was a tiefling. I had no problem with him.
Are you guys, by the way, are you guys like whispering this conversation?
I whispered the first part. I think this has slowly escalated to a full conversation. And Renard is just steering Cyllin faster and faster away from it.
Over there should just be shaking her head.
My best friend's a tiefling, I'll have you know.
And Tyna's just...
We're walking away at this point.
We're walking away. I assume like the
Oh.
chatter of like the class, like everyone coming out of class is definitely muffling us.
Okay. And with that casual racism, as we walk away from the conservatory, is where we are going to end today's session.
I was the one who said she's probably a good person.
Wow, guys.
Said she's evil.
Casual racism is how we end the night. Good job.
Yeah, okay. I hope all of you had a wonderful time. I know that I certainly did, and despite going an entire session with no combat, they skirted around a bunch of them. Very good, guys.
We did.
Oh yeah, you skirted around about 3 encounters.
Really?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm actually trying to think of them. I'm coming up
I-
blank.
I can
I
only
guess we
assume
could
the
have
night.
fought the guards in front
Yeah.
of Cerulean's house.
I can see that.
This is why it's hard for me to prep a homebrew, because I legitimately don't know exactly where you guys are going to go. It's a lot of fun.
Guys, next week I think we should take the Dawn Runner and just leave Marcera and say fuck this place. Like clearly,
this shit, I'm out.
clearly this shit is just way too complicated.
There's a lot of threads here.
Or let's just all roll up new characters and leave our characters here to deal with it. They'll be way better off without us controlling them.
It's true.
And
We
then
don't
we
know
get
what we're
body
doing.
doubles.
Renard has a
Oh.
+6 intelligence. Lake does not.
All right.
Tempest
I think
is-
it's starting to make sense. You guys are doing okay. You're doing fine. All right, everybody. We are going to call it for the night. I think God wants to go to bed. Yeah. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Look forward to seeing you all next week.
Wash your hands.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Oh boy, that was
was
a
good.
session.